coffee. Oops. That is fine. I think that's on now. Yo, check. Okay, yeah. Q.
And let's get
Nice.
started. Part of this is
There
I
it
do
is.
want you to kind of share
The
your
man on the
thinking
myth.
with me, so I can see whether it's stinking thinking or it's going to work every time for you. And so off to the races we go. The company's dividend increases by 5%, but its market price remains the same.
We're gonna do
The
at
current
least
yield on
like
the stock will
these
increase.
are about 3 hours
excellent.
each. Yeah, we're
Right? I
gonna
mean,
do
we got
at least like
what it pays us is more. The current yield is what it pays us divided by what it costs us. So excellent.
Yep.
That's I was just talking to somebody earlier, previous session. I think people really overestimate all
we're
the
gonna
kind
put
of
that
math they're going to have to
28
do.
at least.
But I kind of get worried when they continue to
28.
want to talk about
That's
alpha
crazy.
and how to calculate alpha or standard
Okay.
deviation when in
I
reality it's
feel
going
like
to be
I
more like
sound
current
like.
yield and working capital
Am I
and
somewhere
some of
else
those
too?
things.
So I failed the test twice so far, so I've seen it 2 times
What'd you
around.
score the first two times?
Yeah, 69
Twice?
and the 70s,
Oh God. Oh
literally.
man, those kind of scores are exasperating. I mean, well, good news. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean you had a lack of dedication, discipline, or organization. It could be the draw. It could be changing answers. It's unfortunately not that you don't know it, and we know this one's going to be important because if you miss it this third time, as you know, I hope
You gotta
it's
wait.
a 6-month wait, and that's just a killer, right? So we got to
You
make sure
gotta wait a shit ton
we
of
suck
time.
it up and we get this done, right?
It's wild.
Among the special characteristics of a
Oh,
universal life insurance
I gotta
policy
remember
is
to open up. Oh, I forgot I gotta open that up.
Okay, so
Okay.
it is not D. Termination could lead to a surrender charge. The policy owners can borrow against cash value. It doesn't have a cash value, so it's not B. Does also increase the case value. It's A.
Yeah.
death benefits may increase above the initial face value. You missed that one. It says the special characteristics, right? The special characteristics is the policy may be overfunded because of that separate account. So you missed that one. Not a bad miss. Gonna get maybe one universal life insurance policy. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
An investment advisor is evaluating ABC stock to see if it's a good fit for the client's portfolio. Using the security market line, what is the expected return for ABC when the return on the market is 20%, the 91 Treasury bill is 4%, the beta is 0.70, and the inflation is 3%. Wow. Every question's only worth 1 point.
There we go.
And one of the challenges is kind of read the question and decide is there stuff in here that is not necessary to answering this question? So how would you proceed on this one?
I'll be totally honest. I got this question earlier and I memorized.
Dude, what the heck?
What the answer is.
Okay, you tell me the answer and then we'll talk about it.
15.2.
There we go.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. So the biggest
Cool.
thing that I want you to kind of take away from the question is
Awesome
that the
sauce.
CPI has nothing to do with answering this question. Zero, right?
Nice.
The risk-free rate of return is whatever we assume it is. In this question, we would assume it's 4%. And 4% is what we get for not hazarding our capital, not risking our capital. So we're going to take the 4% away from the return, right? Because we could have got that without risking our capital.
Got it.
Beta
It's a
0.70
couple
means
months.
70% as
Hmm.
volatile as the market. So that means when the market goes up, this is going to
We can always
underperform the market. When the
reschedule.
market goes down, it will
It's actually very
outperform because it won't
exciting.
go
On
down
the
as
last
much. So
live, it
again,
was
don't
literally
think
a
you're
couple
going to
hours
have to
ago.
do the math.
I wanted
Yeah.
The
to
math
be
would be
cool
the
and get it
figuring out
live, like signing
the
up and
expected
everything, but
return
we
based
did
on
full on
what the
schedule for the
market did,
test. So
and then the 91
yeah,
minus
it's
at 4%,
2 weeks,
right?
14
Just
days,
knowing like the
8
factors for
a.m.
the
Yeah,
formula.
it's
in the
mainly
city.
input and output. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened. But I
securitization, by
wanted
the
to
which
do
the
it live,
fund
but
would be
then it
exempt
got
for
all, it seemed
registration
official
under
as all hell, and I
Uniform
didn't
Securities
think
Act.
it
So
was
they're not asking about
appropriate to
33;
stream.
they're asking about the Uniform
But it
Securities Act.
happened.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. So so we're gonna be going hard as a motherfucker in the paint now.
Sorry,
But we could always I shouldn't even be saying this, but like just because I don't say it doesn't mean it's a thing. We can always reschedule. You have like 120 days to take it, so I don't have to take it in 2 weeks. But we're gonna work hella hard, and why waste time when we can pass and get to it, right? So yeah, exciting as a motherfucker though, and we paid for it, so we gotta study.
Yeah.
Always go with your gut. So
But
I
yeah,
don't know if you did change your
it's
answers if
a
they're too
big
high
big
with
move
smart
today.
scores.
I did them
That
all
could
as well.
very well be changing
Yeah.
answers. So there's a couple of things.
Ooh,
You got to be confident in the execution of your study plan.
Okay.
You've got to be
we
confident
gotta
in
work
yourself,
on.
and
Oh, we gotta
most
work. Fuck.
importantly on Saturday,
Holy shit, I'm
you
trash.
got to be confident in your answers. You can't be second guessing your answers. You only change an answer. You're right. You got this question right. You go with your gut. You only change an answer if you got it wrong. Oh
Oh,
my God,
that's
no.
why I'm
Still
hearing
don't change it.
double.
And you know what the right answer is, then change it. But very
That's good to
rarely are you
know.
going to be both things. I
Jesus.
know I got it wrong.
Oh wait,
Gobsmacked. Oh, how could I
no,
miss that? Then you change it. The other thing I would tell you is that stick with what
I'm
you know.
joking.
So don't be they're good at wrong answers that sound good. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know what that answer means, don't take it. Right? You should only take
A lot of things
answers
going
where
on,
you know what you're answering.
but still
When, as per the Sharp ratio, stock exhibits
cool. All right.
superior performance,
So I thought
it implies
I digress. Let's get to I guess obviously we'll start what we
So
were
negative
trash
alpha,
at.
and I don't think it's beta, so I would assume it's
Data
A or positive alpha.
I love it. I love your process. That's why
machine.
you're right
Wait,
about
what is
perfect,
this?
right? It says superior performance, so you should immediately be thinking it can't be beta
Yep.
because beta is a
Oh, this is the
performance.
note. Oh yeah,
Can be
okay.
negative. And
Yeah,
then
we gotta
Sharp
get to
ratio,
the
remember,
Series
I
65.
can
I
make it
was
great,
like,
but a
what?
higher Sharp ratio is good. It's based on
It's
standard
funny.
deviation. It just means you're getting more return per unit of risk.
Got it.
I don't know how much of my videos you've
I hope
watched, however,
that's
but I always
not.
joke about the Sharp ratio this way.
I hope that's
Customer
not
gives
where
you $1
we're
million.
at.
Customer gives me $1 million and says, "Hey, I'm having a beauty contest, a bake off. Whoever has the most money for me at the end of the year gets my entire portfolio." And you're foolish enough to send me your portfolio, and it ends up that it's a tie. We both
Whatever.
have $1 million too. And I say to the client, I go, "No, it's not a tie. I win." He goes, "Well, what do you mean you win? You both have $1 million too." I say, "Yeah, but my Sharp ratio was higher. So I got the same return, but I took less
Oh,
risk. That makes me the winner." So I would just
just
tell higher
another
Sharp
excuse
ratio is
not
a good
to
thing.
get to work right away.
Positive alpha
That
is a good
coffee.
thing. Excellent.
A
Good.
lot
Well,
of
you picked
chocolate
that one.
in it.
XYZ looks like we're getting a heavy draw here.
No kidding.
Portfolio theory stuff. I'm wishing for you on Saturday a dream draw. Everything you studied and wish for shows up. But every time, once in a while, we get one of these face of death draws where we just gotta have to deal with it the best we can.
Yep.
Anyways, stock XYZ stock has a beta of 0.92. The risk-free rate of return is 3. The market's return is 8. So again, it's a buffet. I'm kind of riffing a little bit as we do this together, but I immediately like to take 8 minus 3.
Yeah, so 5 times 0.92.
That's exactly right. And that's why I like to do that. I say, okay, so I could get 3 without risking my capital. So the market return was actually 5%, right? And the beta is 0.92. So here it tells me the risk free is 3. So we take the 3 away from the 8.08. All right. And we get.
And so we get 5 there, and then we would multiply it, if I'm not wrong, by the 0.92.
That's right.
Okay. It says 4.6
Yeah, and then remember though, so 4.6
plus
and
the
then
risk-free rate of return.
that's 3%, right? So
Yep. B.
oh,
Okay. Got it.
yeah. And then and again, it's a buffet. Math is one of the challenges about math is people think it's pretty cut and dry. It's not. A lot of ways to do math. And what just makes sense for me whenever I get this risk-free returns, I just immediately take it away from the market return, and I also take it away from if they give me two numbers, the second number in the question. Now, sometimes we don't have to deal with it, but if we do, then that's the way I like to proceed.
Yep.
On the Uniform Securities Act, all the following would cause an agent's registration to be canceled by the administrator, except.
So it's B and D would definitely be a reason to. Asians found violence. Oh wait. Canceled. A is kind of what I'm thinking.
Good job.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that take exception with this question. And boy, I just, at least, I get it. If your language is not English, if it's Mandarin and, or Spanish or something. And, I'm trying to explain to them there's a difference between the word punitive, being punished,
Mm-hmm.
and just canceled. So A would be punitive. It would be something you did wrong, not canceled.
Yep.
Canceled means, I cancel my subscription. That doesn't mean anything other than I just cancel. So good job. That was a tough one.
Yeah.
A corporate bond with a 6% coupon is purchased for your customer's portfolio. If current bonds of the same quality maturity yields 7.25, and the net present value of the bond is zero, the bond's internal rate of return is. I kind of like this one. It's kind of tough, but it's I think legit, and I think it's worth discussing a little bit.
7.25.
Yeah, and that's a sign of an efficient market as well, right?
Yep.
And the return rate of return, I always joke when, I was a practitioner, I'd say, Oliver, if you invest $1 million in this private equity fund and we get an internal return of, that would turn the $1 million into, $5 million. So the internal rate of return is what takes present value to future value. And a bond, that's going to be the yield to maturity. And here it specifically says there's no net present value. It says it's zero. So the present value, the future value are the same.
Same
Excellent.
thing. Yeah.
Excellent.
So I wrote down the future value, present value formula, and I have the IRR with the R, like underneath the R, and then I have under my yield to maturity because I do the teeter totter as well.
Excellent.
I put the
Excellent.
IRR next to it. Is that the right thing to do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always trying to come up with a better way to explain it to non math people or non PhDs in modern portfolio theory. And the one I've been kind of working on is the idea of present value and future value as it relates to a customer who has 20 years to retirement. He's 50 years old. He says, Dean, I got 100 grand. I want to retire at age 70 and I want to have 400 grand. So the fancy word is we have present value of 100 and we have a future value of 400.
Mm-hmm.
And the internal rate of return is what will take the 100 to the 400 or 400 back to 100 if we're going to go from future value to present value. In that example, if we do the rule of 72, I'd say, okay, well, if it's a 20-year time horizon and I can get to 200 over 10,
Mm-hmm.
right, that would be double the money and then double it again. I'd be at 400s.
Yep.
So I could take 72 and divide by 10 years and come up with 7.2%.
Mm-hmm.
That 7.2% is the internal rate of return. Then what I say is, okay, let's say we didn't have the 400. Nobody's going to make you come up with the 400, but your formula, right? To come up with the 400, if it was missing, I need present value of 100. I need the internal rate of return, which we just did with 7.2.
Mm-hmm.
I need the number of compounding periods, 20 years. Or if I want to go for future value, the 400, I don't have the 100. I could make you come up with 100, but again, the inputs, right? I got my future value 400. I got my internal rate of return 7.2. and then I've got the number of years of compounding period. So those are the inputs to that. And so that was excellent. I like what you did. I had a guy who was it's a very similar scenario. He said, Dean, I'm not paying you $225 an hour to tutor me on math on NASA exams. I'm a serious math geek. I can do all the math. And so, let's just cut to the chase. I said, fine. I'm making him sound like he has hubris that he doesn't. I mean, he really is a math guy.
Yeah.
And then, he passed, but he called. He said, man, damn, Dean, I should have made some flashcards on input and output. I mean, I was able to reverse engineer the formula, but they didn't really ask me to do the math. They asked me to recognize it. And I was struggling a little bit because I didn't really kind of look at the formulas and have, like you just told me, he had to kind of do it on the fly, which he was capable of, but it's better to not have to
Yeah,
be doing.
that would take a long time. That would take a
Yeah,
long time
yeah.
to be able to reverse that.
Yeah, you just and you shouldn't have a time constraint on the test. I always tell people you have a time constraint. It's bad because that means you're turning aim and shoot point and click questions into judgment questions that aren't there. All the following statements related to an account registered its tenants in common is true except.
Okay, so B is correct. Upon death of one of the co-tenants, that individual share of the account passes to the survivors. No. This form of registration is less common for married couples, and yeah, that's true. Each co-tenant has an undivided interest in the entire account. That's true. So it's C.
Excellent, excellent. That would be true of joint tenants with rights or survivorship, right?
Yep.
So you're definitely going to get those kind of questions. So those are layups as 65 goes.
Yeah.
An investment advisor's rep, I always think me. If I can put myself and my firm into the question, I'm going to do so. So Dean's business card contains which of the following designations would be in violation of NASA's policy on advertising. This is very testable.
Yeah, it's
okay. Which
Right
type of IRA
that's
does not
misuse of a
require
non-existent professional designation.
RMDs
no
or
kidding.
Roth?
Yeah. CFP, CLU.
It's hard to believe how many times I see people. I never know sometimes when I see people who are doing this, are they malicious or ignorant? It doesn't
Advantage
really
of
matter in terms of
index
test
funds
purposes,
is
but I mean, like, okay, do you know that's not really, acceptable? Which of the following items is not necessary to establish before helping a client open an account?
small document form establishes a limited partnership as a legal.
So A and C are correct.
That's
During
correct.
low inflation and
I'm
What
trying
is
to.
C called? Do you know what C is called?
That's called. Oh God. Needs
I
analysis.
just thought of something on a side note. I just
Excellent,
realized
Now,
how
usually you're doing well, so I'll just tell you this is how I
the
play this
free
game.
AI
If you're
questions
doing
work
well,
on here. There's
and
a
I don't think you
10
damage your psyche,
AI limit
I say,
because it
okay, let's go a
uses
little deeper, see what else you got.
API
Right? If you're not
tokens
doing
and
well, then I just
credits.
leave it alone, and
That's
you're
funny.
just gonna
Integration
hit buttons.
credits,
But good job. So that's indeed what that is called. You said
because
A
that's
and
what we
C, so
use
now
on
you're going to
our
be
apps
deal
and
with
stuff.
B and
That's
D as
funny.
your remaining
I'm
choices.
pretty sure somebody made this on.
I don't think that you technically have to have zero
Oh, I guess
balances
so.
on your
Yeah,
credit
We did
that's
get
cool.
cards.
started, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That's
and
on
I'm
a
going to
side
help
note.
you
All
with
the
that, hopefully, as
app building
your
we're
investment
doing.
person, right?
It's gonna
I'm certainly
Finance with
very careful
Reezuhn
with
app
any
is gonna be
purchase
coming
of
out
fund, right?
soon.
I say, Oliver,
Uh,
most people
yeah,
would
a lot of
recommend
cool
at
shit.
least 3 to 6 months in cash
Exciting.
as an emergency fund in case you lose your job or, unforeseen things happen. And again, that's liquidity and that has opportunity cost because it's going to be money that's not
We also
invested.
gotta have a target on how many
And the
questions
older
we
I get,
take
the
in a
more
certain
I
amount.
want
It's a
larger I want
3-hour
that fund to be, which
test,
is kind of stupid, but
140
that's what it is,
questions.
right?
When I always think
So
of it, you need to
3 hour,
have a
we
net
have to take
profit no matter
140.
what. So you don't want to have a
Okay,
ton of debt, but if you have an emergency, you
we're
need
at
an
20 minutes
emergency fund.
already.
If you didn't have an emergency fund, it
That's
would
right.
almost seem like
Okay,
you don't have
and
that
then we're
much
on
money.
question 4.
Yeah, I like to keep a year's worth of expenses in cash because
Yeah.
it just makes me feel better. It's stupid, but right.
No, I mean, I get it. Honestly.
As written in the Investment Advisor Act of 1940, a person associated with an investment advisor is any partner, officer, or director of such investment advisor or any person performing similar functions, or any person directly or indirectly controlling or controlled by such investment advisor, including any employee of such investment advisor. Persons associated with investment advisor whose functions are clerical and ministerial are not included in the definition.
In a
Based on the
recession.
prohibition, all the following are
Jesus
associated persons
Christ.
except.
I think I'm
I
just
like the
nervous
question. I
about
like that
everything,
they
but
just
yeah,
give you a lot of free
recession.
information. You're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
told me all kinds of stuff.
There's a bunch of money out there.
So A
I
definitely
guess there,
is.
yeah,
B.
there's with low inflation and recession.
The senior officer.
I'm pretty sure it's buy bonds, but I'm just going off. Is it alright? Is it a good
So
instinct
D
to
is
just go
also
off of the back
correct.
of your head?
Yep.
Decrease taxes, require banks to increase reserves.
Advisory firm organized. I think C, so I'm gonna guess it's B.
Erase
Good job. You're
funds.
correct because graphic design is not public contact regarding investments. I'm not soliciting anybody.
Yep.
I'm just jazzing our stuff up, making it
Low
look pretty.
inflation
Yeah, it was the
and
research
low.
part that kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, you got it. GEM contracts with XYZ Advisory Service for the design of a financial plan and
I
investment
guess what you're
advice.
saying.
He pays an
Whatever. We
upfront
gotta
fee
stop
when
being
the
stingy
contract
with
is signed
hints.
and receives a disclosure brochure at the time. After 3 days, Jim decides to cancel the investment advisory contract. According to the
Here's your
Uniform
hint.
Securities Act, which of the following statements is true?
D and C are both wrong.
That's correct.
Oh. For each option, ask yourself, does this action increase or decrease the money supply?
I'm gonna go B.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, during
This is called the
recession with
48
low
hour
inflation,
rule,
the
right?
Fed's
Yep.
implements
48-hour rule is this
expansionary
idea that I
monetary
haven't given you
policy
time
by
to look it
buying
over.
bonds in the
And then remember that
open
means
market.
you have 5 days to kind of rescind
This
that thing.
injects money into
Now, I
the
don't know,
economy,
Oliver, how
lowering
you feel
interest
about
rates and
this, and I'll just tell you
stimulating
again, every tutor's a little different. I
borrowing
do believe
and
in
spending.
test-taking tricks.
Okay, yeah.
We only use
Replace
test-taking
bonds with
tricks when
money
all else fails.
out there
And
flowing.
Chuck Lowenstein at Kaplan is the guy who wrote this question, and even my friend
Under the
Brian Lee, they get
stairs.
mad at me, but they fall prey to the trick I'm about to share with you. Too long to be wrong.
Yep. Actually, that's what I was thinking when I was answering this question.
Well,
I was looking between the two.
The reason it kind of works is because guys like as much as they hate me saying this,
Yeah.
what test writers do sometimes, and me included, we start with what our right answer and wrong answer is going to be the answer set, basically, and then we reverse engineer the question. And so either B is a hell of a distractor. That's the technical name for a wrong answer, or it's the right answer because my friend Chuck is pretty involved in that B choice there.
I just got I just thought about it too. Like,
you shouldn't learn the information.
I'm gonna be
go with too long to be wrong.
IA.
If you need to use a test-taking trick,
I'm not gonna be
you did well in the
IAR.
previous question. I thought you did well. You did what I call the Sesame Street trick. One of these things is not like
Because
the other.
I'm not I don't I represent
that
myself.
one with the clerical person. You did another
Oh,
one
yeah.
I like. Good test takers.
It's gonna be
may
interesting.
not have formal names for the tricks. You did another great one on a previous question. You did what I call process of elimination.
Yep.
Where you say,
As
okay,
a manager or supervisor at a new firm.
So these are just kind
but
of formal names.
you could be your own thing. Yeah,
Good test
I'm not.
takers
I
do
gotta look.
no tricks.
I have to know all
We're not
these
saying
things.
you're going to
We
pass
will
your
learn.
third time using tricks. We're just saying when all else fails, you got to do something. Right?
Yeah.
So,
Interesting stuff though, because you'd be a representative of a firm or an entity that can give out this advice. Oh, this is interesting. Cool.
That's true. Seems true.
Which profession? Certified financial planner. Serious shit. They got it all.
I think it's A.
Excellent. Good job.
Yeah.
Which of the following are prohibited practices? Which of the following are prohibited practices?
Which of the following?
Let me roll that up for you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Which of the following corporate bonds would typically carry the lowest coupon rate due to its secured status? The lowest. Mm-hmm. It would have to be like super secure because you can guarantee shit, right? That's why I could keep it low. Debentures are pretty secured. I think. Debentures? They're secured bonds.
That's good. Can you go back to the top of the question to make sure I'm answering it correctly?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, my bad. Okay. Sorry about that. Which of the following are
Income
prohibited
bonds.
practices?
Yeah, it's
Coupon
A.
rate due to their secured.
Yeah, I like it. So, what you
Equipment.
want to do is
Yeah.
maybe you can also just read each of these
Equipment
Roman
trust
numerals
certificates
as
are
standalone
secured by
and either write prohibited
such a
next to it or not prohibited.
This is a
I like what you did. I think
okay.
you kind of
Well,
did
I'm
that
glad
when you
we're
put these.
getting
I
it.
think you said three's not prohibited, and then use that as a pivot, which I thought was a good idea, right? You took three out and said, okay, if three's out, then let me pivot to what's left.
Well, I know 2 was correct, so it was between
Really?
2 and 3.
Because
I
of
just wanted
this?
to make sure 4 wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
So I knew it had to be, if it wasn't 3, it had to be 1 and 2.
There you go. Love it. Good test taking skills. One of your clients has a tendency to follow the actions
Oh,
of a larger group
okay.
of people
See, I was
making
just fucking
financial
wrong in the beginning.
decisions.
Debentures are all
Whether those
unsecured.
actions are rational or not, the client's behavior is
Dang,
an
it's been a
example
minute
of.
since I heard the word debenture.
Oh, herd mentality.
Equipment trust certificates equals secured by
Those
equipment
are,
equals
part
lower
of
rates.
human,
Debentures. Yeah, higher. Okay.
psychosis,
Debentures are yeah.
non-financial kind of
Got it.
considerations, right? So that is testable. Which of the following is correct
Okay.
regarding zero
This is the risk.
coupon bonds?
So it's not the.
Ugh.
A is definitely not right. Reinvestment risk.
The risk-free rate is 3%. The expected market return and the stock's beta volatility.
Yeah, excellent, right?
Isn't it just
You might
11?
have a bigger problem at the end, but you don't have any problem along the way. I say, Oliver, usually every 6 months you get paid, and you got
The
to
free,
decide how
like
to
no matter
reinvest
what,
that
and
money.
then
Your overall
expected,
rate
so
of
you add
return
it, right?
is going to be dependent on how you're
14
reinvesting that
or
coupon.
not 14?
Mm-hmm.
In a zero coupon bond, your rate of return
Oh,
is
that has
locked in.
something to do with 1.5.
So they're used to eliminate reinvestment risk.
Volatility.
We could also say lock in a rate of return.
Oh,
They're good for somebody who
1.5
just
times
sets the money at some
11%,
future date.
and then
There is
because
no draw.
the 3% comes
You're
after
gonna
because
get
it's
something
guaranteed.
about zero coupon
I
bonds,
think.
right? They're definitely on there. ERISA stands for every ridiculous
times.
idea since Adam. No, I'm joking. It stands for the
That has
Employee
something to do
Retirement
with
Income
and then you
Security.
add it to 3%.
The Employee Retirement Income Security Act does not apply to.
Plus 11? 14.
So
Damn it.
it's got to be 3.
Fuck. Is it 15? Oh. But we have to make sure why.
It's D.
Equals 3%.
Yeah, it doesn't cover public pension plans.
Okay.
Public
Who
pension
covers
plans are allowed to make promises to employees and not have any way of making good on it. The state of Illinois has tens of billions of dollars in unfunded pension liabilities. City of Chicago has unfunded pension liabilities. If you were a corporation at ERISA, you would have to fund your retirement plan. If you make a promise
PEMDAS, that's what got
about a
us.
percentage of their base pay for the health care for the rest
PEMDAS
of their
got
life,
me.
you're required to set aside that money so you can make
11
good on that.
minus
So it doesn't
8.
cover private pension, public pension.
Got it. Market risk premium is
Sortel Industry has
8%.
preferred
11
stock
minus
outstanding.
multiplied by beta.
It pays an annual dividend of 3.75,
Okay.
$3.75 a share. The investor wants to
Damn, that
earn
was
a
a rough
rate
one.
of return.
That was a rough
How
one.
much should she be willing to pay for
Under the
a
investment.
share of Sortel preferred stock? Kind of interesting question. I think a couple ways to go about it.
Fuck, I don't know what access persons are. Under the investment, access persons
The
must
thing is, I
file quarterly
actually do
transaction
reverse
reports no
engineering
later than
Yeah,
on
that's
this.
what I would do. So here's what I,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what that's how I would have proceeded here. I'd say, okay, well, so what they're really asking me is what would give me
each
a current yield of
quarter,
8.5%. So I think what I would have done is just taken
30
my
days.
calculator. Let's see if this gives me one of the choices here. I would
Access
have taken
persons reports quarter equals
current yield is what it
30
pays
days.
me divided
Initial
by what it
holdings
costs
are
me.
10 days.
Mhm.
So I'm
Annual
just going to take the
45 days.
375, and I think of these answers
That's
as
good to know.
offers, and then I just
Quarterly,
look at my offer and say, okay, let me do the first offer. They say 44.12, so I'm going to take 33.75 divide by 44.12,
initial
Yeah, that's the
holdings
right one.
and
10
let's
days.
see if
Annual
that
45
if
days.
the math plays out.
I don't know
I
why
get
they did in that
8.5.
order.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
So
An investor in the
just a different way of
consolidation
asking current yield,
phase of
which
their
Yeah.
financial
kind of
life
legit.
cycle.
So yeah. One thing too about math, I would just say in
Consolidation,
general,
investment.
I always tell people on the math, you know, give yourself permission to take a strategic pause and say, okay, maybe I have flashbacks from middle school with my guy named Mr. Bruner. I'm triggered by a math question.
Under regulation,
You take a
the
strategic
private
pause and you
placement
say, okay,
rules. How many?
Dean told me
How
it's not going to
many
be all that complicated, so I've got
accredited
to figure out the
investors
hack.
may
What is the easy way
participate
to
in
get to the
offering?
answer?
Accredited.
Review of the prospectus for an open-end mutual fund, the open-end investment company, reveals the portfolio consists
It's
entirely of
unlimited
negotiable jumbo
accredited.
CDs,
35
treasury bills, commercial
non-accredited.
paper. This is probably yeah, right on. It would have a
Commercial
fixed
paper is
NAV of $1,
typically not sold to
right?
which
And this
type
would
of
be
investor?
for somebody who needs their money to be liquid. They love to give you a question about suitability on a short time horizon, where they say, your
Commercial
customer
paper
has sold their house in
not sold
California
to
because
what
they're being
type of investor?
relocated to Nevada or wherever, and they say, hey, Oliver, I'm going to rent a house till I find, or rent an apartment till I find a neighborhood I like and a house I'd like. And then they ask, what should you do with the proceeds
I
from the
imagine
house sale in California? And you'd say money market fund, right? So
Yep.
that money's available when they decide to squeeze the trigger. From your meetings with Avery, you realize
mutual
there's a
funds.
tendency to follow the actions of a larger group of people when they're making financial
Shit.
decisions.
Commercial
It makes no
paper is a
difference. Okay,
short-term
welcome to the
debt
straw. We get
instrument.
two.
Yeah,
Sometimes on the real test where this happens, I've had people tell me they
I'm
answer
being
one way
dumb.
the first time, and the second way you figure they'll get
An
a 50%. I go,
an
no,
investor
don't do that.
withdraws.
Answer consistently, right?
Oh,
So
I've done
it makes no
that.
difference. Choose the behavioral finance theory that
The
explains
account has
Avery's
50,000
behavior.
I'm gonna have to go with D here.
and
Yeah, there you go.
30,000 in
Remember,
earnings. How much are the
overconfidence is
withdrawals?
hubris. Anchoring is like an inherited position where the family's worked at the company for
Yeah.
years and years.
Confirmation bias? I've never even heard of that.
Confirmation bias means that just because it's worked for you in the past, you stick with it. I was
Okay.
reading where Charlie Munger is the partner of Warren Buffett who recently passed.
Non-qualified
asking what
annuity
he taught
withdrawals
Warren
are
Buffett. I
taxed
thought, wow,
using
okay.
LIFO,
I'm interested
last
to know
in,
what Warren
first
Buffett
out,
says
meaning
his partner
earnings are
down at him.
considered withdrawn
And what he
first.
was giving was a version
Earnings
of
are
confirmation
considered
bias that
withdrawn first.
Warren had been
Since
doing the
the
same
annuity
thing for
has
a long time,
30,000
which
in
was
earnings
trying to buy
and the
the
withdrawal
companies
is
at the cheapest
20,000,
price
the entire
possible,
20 is
but was
taxable
stuck in a
as
universe of
ordinary.
stocks that weren't great businesses to own under any circumstances. He said, what Charlie Munger told me is that I should be willing to
Form
pay a higher price
CRS
for a better
client
business.
relationship
Like,
summary
I just
is
can't,
designed to
let the math
provide
be the end
retail
of the day. So I
investors
do my
with
discounted cash flow on Bank of
client
America,
relationship
and I come
summary.
up with
It's
$30
designed
as
to
a good
provide
present value,
a
and the
comprehensive
stock's
list
at
of the
31. What Warren is
annual
saying is, in the old days, he wouldn't buy it for 31.
brief
And, what
summary of
Charlie told him is,
services, fees,
thanks,
conflicts, and display.
spend the dollar
Yeah.
to get a decent business. Don't get it cheap. A bad business at a
Which
cheap price, get
statement
a good
about
business
American
at a fair price. So confirmation.
depository?
Statistical method used to determine the return profile of a security or portfolio that recreates potential outcomes by
Is
generating
accurate?
random values based on risk return.
Monte Carlo.
Yeah, right on.
Navigator systems and generating random returns.
Right.
Yeah.
One problem facing an agent and a client alike is determining how much life insurance is needed to meet future needs. One tool that making this determination is
Ooh, that's A.
Yeah. The National Securities Market Improvement Act.
An investment advisor guarantees.
NIMSMIA.
Nizmia.
No, it's absolutely prohibited under the
Between D and C, but I think it's C.
You're
which of the
correct, Trust. You
following
got it.
has
Created
no
two things.
minimum net
It
capital?
created federally covered
Broker
investment
dealers.
advisors and
Oh,
federally
agents.
covered securities. Those are the two buckets.
No
What
minimum
makes you a
net
federally
capital
covered
or net
advisor?
worth
You'll never be
requirement.
alone.
That's
Your
agents.
investment advisory firm is either federally
Lucky
covered
ducks.
or not.
I don't.
Never both. So what would make you a federally covered? You're an investment advisor.
Oh,
rep.
What makes I remember. Damn, I have to get a fucking. I have to get a
That's right. You belong to the
certificate
SEC.
or something.
What about 100 million or more?
It's crazy.
You get the choice
I'm
between
too broke.
state or Fed.
You gotta get some clientele, and then I can
you go down before
not
you get
have
booted
this
to the state or state.
bond. It's like a
Excellent, excellent, excellent. The
like a
reason that's
bond.
also important is because then there's lots of questions that follow from that. Right? If you're an investment advisor rep of a federally covered investment advisor,
A technical
neither
analyst who
you
follows
nor your
short
firm
interest
ever have to
theory
deal with
would
de minimis.
interpret a
It just
very
doesn't
high short
exist.
interest as
If you're fully
better
covered,
such
you
shorts
only, as
must
an investment advisor
eventually
rep,
buy the
are
cover.
going to have to register in a state if you have a place of business. Period. Full stop.
According to modern
You could have something to kind of pay attention in terms of that flow chart. What are federally covered securities? Securities that we don't need to register through coordination or qualification.
And it would be the notice filing one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you're right. Notice filing. I love it. That's not a method of registration, though.
Yep.
I'm asking you who can do that. So my question is, I'll take that answer. What federally covered
Which type of
securities are allowed
market
to do a
structure is
notice filing
characterized by a
rather
single
than
seller and
registering
heavy
through
government
coordination or
regulation?
qualification?
Securities that are listed on
Government
top
regulation?
exchanges or have already,
Right,
or they're doing an
markets
additional securities.
I'll have it. New York and NASDAQ. You're correct.
I missed this one
NASDAQ,
before
yeah,
too.
There's two more.
It's a monopoly.
NASDAQ,
It's a
Dow.
single. Man, stupid.
Well, Dow isn't a market center.
I
Market
missed that
New
one
York and
before. When an investment advisor uses third-party
Which
research
ones
and
don't?
making recommendations, the
Mutual
advisor must
Now remember, you're going to
disclosure
have an
that
answer
the
set front. I'm
research
asking you to pull
is
these things
from
out
a
of the
third party.
stratosphere, so
Disclose.
don't beat yourself up, right?
Always
You would have an
disclose.
answer
Commercial
set front. The
paper
last
is
one would be a
government
Reg E,
issued
private
securities.
Yep.
Right? For example, an exempt
They just
transaction
said,
under 33.
yeah,
Excellent.
short-term
Excellent.
unsecured corporate debt.
Despite management's best efforts, a corporation with
Roth
stock traded on the New York has had
401k and
bankruptcy
Roth
is being forced
IRA
to
share which
liquidate
feature?
assets. The liquidation priority is determined by.
They're Roth. Neither is subject to
Seniority of the claim.
Yeah, remember, it'd be the secured bondholders, unsecured
Roth are
bondholders,
made
preferred
pre-tax.
income.
They'll never ask wages, right? Like that's just kind of.
They don't. Yeah, I mean, the test prep vendors get
No,
into it,
they're not
As
pre-tax.
an investment advisor rep, I don't represent the employees. However, that being said, the employees get
Roth
paid first
IRAs
because
you
they
pay
weren't
after tax.
capitalizing a business.
Yep.
That's why.
You know, people who invested in the capitalization, the bonds and the stock, knew
Roths
they were
you
taking
do
a
not
business
have.
risk.
Yeah, you don't have.
Yes, indeed, the employees will get paid before the investors, and the IRS gets paid.
You
before
don't
the
have
investors.
qualified.
So government and the employees come at the front of the line.
There we go.
One of the distinguishing characteristics of an investment
qualified
advisor is that of a fiduciary responsibility to clients. That responsibility specifically requires the investment advisor.
Yeah, I knew that. Either way. I just got fucking. I overthink things. The dividend discount model is most appropriate.
Yeah, that's exactly what fiduciary means, right?
Yeah.
High growth technology companies
it would be considered a violation of the
dividends.
anti-fraud provisions of the Uniform Securities Act for an agent to
dividend discount model.
B.
Disregard clients'
Dividend
complaints
discount
sent to the
model.
agent's personal
What has to do with
email
cash
address.
flows?
So a violation of anti-fraud. That is unethical, but that's not a
Startup
willful
companies with
thing to deceive.
fudge.
So this is you're going to miss this one. The answer is D is in dog.
Is best suited for
I
mature,
attempt to
stable
prevent a
companies
possible
that
heart
pay
attack by telling your
consistent
elderly
and
client
growing dividends,
the
such
largest
as
position of the client's account is only
utilities
down
and
10,
blue chip
when in
stocks.
fact
They
the
cannot be
company is
used
preparing
for
to file for
companies
protection
that
under
don't pay
bankruptcy clause and the
dividends
stock
have
is worthless.
sporadic
That is the
dividends.
bigger problem.
Yeah,
Interest
100%.
is
I didn't
steady.
read that all the way through.
And too long to be wrong.
No kidding.
When does a
Under the
deliberate
Uniform
omission of
Securities
a
Act
fact
and
in the
agent
security sale
is
constitute fraud? So, what kind of facts would
a person who
subject you
represents a
to a
broker-dealer
charge of
in
fraud?
security transactions. An aggressive growth portfolio would most likely have the highest allocation to
Let's see. It's A.
Yeah, good job, right? That's the whole
Yeah.
point. I saw the broker being interviewed, and they asked him why he didn't tell the client the information.
small
He said,
cap.
I thought I'd lose the sale. And I couldn't think of
Jesus.
a worse
Yeah.
answer. That is the all-time worst answer. I'm supposed to say, Oliver,
Aggressive
something you
growth
ought to know. It might
portfolios
alter your investment
prioritize
decision.
capital
The term for that
appreciation
is a
over income
material
and
fact.
safety.
Yep.
Definition of material fact is a fact
Small
that would alter
cap
somebody's
growth
decision.
stocks offer the
So good
highest
job.
growth potential and
Mr. and
highest
Mrs. Williams are a
risk,
retired
making
couple
them the
receiving most of their
primary
income
holdings in
from
aggressive
a diversified
portfolios.
portfolio of high-quality bonds and preferred stock. One of the reasons that life insurance might be a useful addition to their overall planning is that. I kind of like this one. There's not many life insurance questions.
Yeah, there's a hell over
I
here.
failed life insurance the first time. I passed everything else
Well,
the
that
first
it
time.
looks like Oliver, you're choosing the hard way. I would tell you though, I'm not being facetious here. There are very, very many very successful people in our business. My best broker took the test 5 times. He used to go out and tell people, "Hey, if anybody knows this stuff, it's me. I had to take the damn test 5 times." Proof that people invest with you because they like you and they trust you. And secondly, I always tease people, but it's serious when people will say, "Dean, that's my got it done on my third time or whatever it is." I say you really passed 2 tests. You passed the 65, and more importantly, you passed a test of resiliency. And passing that test is a huge indicator of your future success, because there's some people who just fall apart in the when they get negative feedback of any kind, they just collapse. Rather, I have a.
I would.
Now she's taking the 65 and she's a
Oh,
really
God
top
forbid
life
we
insurance
don't pass.
producer.
Yeah, that would
There's no way
suck.
they're not
The
getting rid
investment
of her because she
company.
brings in too much money.
Yeah,
But
just
you know what I love
there's
is
nothing
about
wrong
Oliver,
with
she
passing
never
one
ever
time.
fails this stuff. She just
Or
kept
just
keeping the
passing the
damn
first time.
test, and she took it
The
over and
Investment
over
Company
and
Act
over again. And and
1940
she didn't carve
classifies
out the
investment
time because that means
companies
she's a
into
producer, and
38
she waited
categories,
6
which
months and
is
over and
not
over
one
again.
of them.
Finally, she got done, and she has people that report to her, and I said, "Well, nobody's ever going to be able to tell you that you
Management
don't understand the
companies.
plight of taking a test. It's easier to get it done the first time, but hey, not everybody's path includes the smooth sailing through the
I
matriculation process of
remember.
getting their exams. So why are we going to tell them they might want to add some life insurance to their portfolio?
Why do I think I remember? Face amount certificate. Investment Company Act classifies investment companies into 3 categories.
B. Jesus.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. We have enough liquidity to take care of things.
I think management companies
An
definitely
unaffiliated person acts on
exchange
behalf
traded
of an
funds.
investment advisor and attempt to solicit or refer new investment advisor clients. Which of the following
ETFs
conditions
aren't one
is
of them.
not required by
Okay,
the
yeah.
Investment Act of 1940 if the solicitor
Management
fee
companies,
is $100 per month
UITs,
for
face
this
amount
service?
certificates. It's simple as that. ETFs aren't one of them. Financial risk is primarily associated with companies' use of debt and capital structure. By what age must all assets in a 30? Coverdell, right? Coverdell questions. An investment advisor's duty
D.
of loyalty requires the advisor to guarantee
D, you said this. There
recommend
you
only
go.
the highest
Right?
return
Which
provide
is
the
not
lowest
required. I don't have
cost
to be registered. I use my
interest rate
broker
of the
dealer as a
advisor.
solicitor
Yeah.
for investment advisory firms, and the broker dealer
Assuming
does not have
equal
to be
account
registered as an investment advisor. Right? So, good job.
assuming equal account values and
Which of the following are not investment advisors under the Uniform Securities Act?
Which variable annuity payout will payout option provide the highest?
One.
The highest payout is the one with the shortest amount to pay.
It's gonna be B.
It's a life
You missed it.
certain.
What? Is it 1 and 2?
It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Joe advises customers on the value of gold and silver coins. Those aren't securities.
Account values
Yep.
and annuities.
The trust department of the bank is not an investment advisor. The trust department doesn't charge fees for in the investment advice. It manages the trust accounts. It's a carve out a particular exclusion. Tammy writes a newspaper column. She's a
Life
journalist who
with
writes a column.
10
That's an investment advice column.
certain.
It's general circulation. So she's not an
Straight
investment
life.
advisor, and you are not an investment advisor. So the
It's
answer is 1,
certain
2,
they have
3, and 4. You said 1 and 4.
Fuck, I don't
So
know.
you said the trust department is an
No, I
investment
think it's
advisory
actually
firm.
just
That's
straight
not
life
true.
because if they die,
And
they
you
ain't
said
gotta.
3. Tammy writes a newspaper column, and she's an investment advisor, and that's not true either. The other thing that might be helpful is Tammy
A
is
straight
an
life
individual, and
annuity
individuals
provides the
aren't
highest
investment
because
advisors.
it has no guarantees
Advisors
beyond the
would be all
annuitant's
natural
life.
persons. By the way, don't beat yourself
Certain
up. I think that
options
you've
and
got 2
period.
misses
Yeah.
here and
Survivor
31
benefits
performance
reduce
opportunities, and
payments
that will
because of
certainly get
the
it done.
issuer's
In which one of these
paying
business
longer.
entity does the term member
More
refer
guarantees,
to the
lower
owners?
payment. Straight life, highest payment, no guarantees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
LSC.
I had somebody the other day took exception with a question.
Variable
It was
life
very similar to
insurance
this kind of
cash
question. I said, well,
value
you should know it's
is
an
held
LLC
in a
because they
separate
use the
account
term
rather from
members, and
the
that means
general
LLC.
account because it
Vice versa.
reduces
So,
the
that's
insurance
very much
company's
business structure. I always tell people be prepared for that answer
provides
set
higher guaranteed returns
because any one of those could have
to
been the
the
answer.
policy.
I could have said with the same answer set, which of the following is the easiest business structure, form, and end? That would be sole proprietorship.
Yep.
Life insurance
I could have
cash
said, which of the following business structure does not allow alien shareholders,
reduces insurance.
right? Or has a maximum of 100 shareholders. I could have said, which of the following is a passive ownership with a flow through, and that would be limited partnership. So those all could have been right answers. Both state and federal law have record keeping requirements for broker dealers. This is very testable. When it comes to email correspondence, the requirements are so.
The separate, it's
The
always
state can
protecting
impose
the
on a broker
principal
dealer a higher standard than I'm
and the
already meeting
assets
as
and
a
the
broker
money.
dealer.
Okay.
So
This
broker dealers get
protects
to say, wait a minute,
policyholders
I'm
from
a broker
claiming.
dealer, and you can't make me do anything as a state that I already have to do for the SEC. So when it comes to
Which type
email
of right
correspondence, now both NASA's the state, and
would
federal
generate
SEC
income for both
have said
rental
over and over and over again,
payments
they make no
on
distinction between the method of
from both
communication,
rental
but
payments
rather
on
the
owned
content.
properties and interest on real estate loans. I guess it would be a hybrid. Rental payments on owned properties and interest on
If
real
it's written
estate loans.
correspondence, it would be 3 years because broker dealers keep on file for 3.
Yeah, and they can't make me do 5. Investment advisors are 5. Be careful. If any part of a
Mortgage, right?
statement is false,
A hybrid
the entire
generation.
statement is false. And so C says the firm must keep correspondence in the cloud.
I get so frustrated when I miss stupid questions.
You keep it in the cloud. You can keep it on your own servers. You can keep it in your file
Stability
cabinet.
and debt portfolio.
You can keep it where you want. So you're correct to say that the vast majority of brokerage firm records are 3. That's true. But what's not true is that don't have to keep them in the cloud.
So it would be D.
Excellent. There's no separate standard.
And I would have gone C there too, which is
Oh, and
frustrating
interest rates
because I
go
guess
down, bonds
I would have
go
thought
up.
about the cloud part being in like the one word to kind of set off the question.
Yeah, well,
What the
there's
fuck?
two. You always, as a reader, so that's why we say you want to make sure
Short-term
you're
bonds have
getting a
less
good night's rest
precedence.
because when I'm tired, my reading skills are diminished.
Me too.
But there's two key pivot words here: must, and then the cloud. So whenever I see like always or must or never, those are those words where you gotta go, okay, unless it's like when can I commit fraud? Never. When should I be acting in good faith? Always. But if it's not that, that's kind of a trigger where you go, okay,
Long-term
if I
bonds
hear
are
some of
more
those
volatile
hard
because
terms
their
like must or
prices
never,
move
I
more
better go back and
dramatically
kind of
with
look
rate
at that.
changes.
Right. So the key part about
Short
C is must keep it in
maturity
the
equals
cloud. No.
lower duration
Remember, the
equals
second
less
part of that
price
is I told you is that
volatility.
if any part of a
Stability
statement is false, the
seekers
whole statement
prefer
is false. So,
shorter maturities.
we get a long sentence and you got a
Alright.
comma, you better read after the comma because the comma could then be the part that
A
makes the answer
decline
not
in
correct any
GDP
longer,
must
right? So
last at least how many quarters
I really think these NASA exams, I
to
tell
be
people, are
considered a recession?
definitely
2 quarters.
reading tests.
No kidding.
What are
Under
the
the
following
Uniform
statements regarding
Securities Act, the
Coverdale's
state
ESAs?
administrator can issue
The
a
main test
cease
question
and
on your real
desist
test could
order
be Coverdale suck,
without
and 529s do not.
Yeah, no kidding.
Qualifying
without
condition.
prior
Right?
notice.
So I always joke in the beauty contest or
Without
bake off, the 529 is always going to be the winner. In fact, most people I do business with tell me their firms don't even offer Coverdales anymore.
only against the registered persons. Yeah,
I
I'd
would assume
imagine.
so. I bet Wells does, honestly.
What's that?
I bet Wells Fargo does.
Or
They're
no.
so old at this point.
Oh,
But I got to tell you, Henry Wells, I noticed that.
yeah, registered or not, you're doing
Starting to
something
brand up a
wrong.
little more on Henry Wells, but Henry Wells should be in the Business Hall of Fame. Not only
Yeah,
did he start
state
Wells Fargo, he
administrator
also
can
started
issue a
American
cease and
Express.
desist order without
I think, man,
prior
if
notice if
you're
they
a guy who
believe the
started two
violation
major
has occurred
Fortune
or is
500,
about to.
that's like,
However,
wow.
a hearing must be
Kind of like the
provided
Elon of the
upon
day, right?
request,
Kind
typically
of that.
I feel
within
like
15
honestly,
days.
Jamie Dimon's probably. I just think of Jamie Dimon having taken over because he took over
Which
Amex,
statements
if
about
I'm not
S
mistaken,
Yeah,
in
corporations
well,
are
terms
he
of.
was
to
he started.
encompass
His dad
their
was a top producer,
shareholders.
Smith Barney, a stockbroker, and
They have
his
passed
first
through
job was assistant
limited to
to a guy named Sandy Weil.
Yep.
And Sandy was the guy who was
subject
running
to
American Express, and Jamie was his assistant. And they would never promote him. And I used Jamie because I had a person who was working at BlackRock, and she was afraid to take a job as an assistant to a very high-end person.
True.
And I said, because her friends are making
So
fun of her, well, you're going to be an
A
assistant,
and B
not a
are not.
vice president. I go, it's all about who you're an assistant
Oh, it's
to.
gotta.
Yeah.
Jamie Dimon's case, he was an assistant to a guy named Sandy
Anything
Weil.
with
And
3.
Sandy wouldn't take care of him. They were at Solomon Brothers already. Then he left and he took over the bank, got
Okay, cool.
his own gig, and he's a living legend. But
Subject.
I said that what I was
Okay,
trying
yeah,
to tell her
everything
is that
else is true.
the person you're the assistant for, is going to put you back
Can
on the track
only
when
have
he's
one
done with
class
you, and
of
you're going to
stock.
be way ahead of all these people making fun of you.
No
You're going to
kidding.
be like vice president, so
The
you're going to be like a
U.S.
senior vice president.
The U.S.
And sure enough,
investor owns
that's
European
what happens.
stocks.
I
If the
always joke, it
euro
depends who your assistant
weakens
is. Your point.
against
If
the
Jamie
dollar, the
Dimon said, "Hey, do
investor's
you want
dollar
to my
return
said
will.
absolutely."
Absolutely, I would. Any day of the week.
In fact, I'll pay you. You don't even have to pay me, right? I wish I could get younger men and women, and now that I'm an old guy,
I imagine it
to
would be
understand that in the
decreased.
beginning, I understand, resources could be limited,
Yes.
but it's
When
much
the
more
euro
important,
weakens
I
against the
think, beginning to
dollar,
have a good
European
learning experience and
investments are worth
have
fewer
people like
dollars when converted
mentors
back
that
to
can
the
help you get ahead.
investor's home
I just
currency.
had a guy on my channel. It was
Even
funny.
if
I
the
worked for him. It was one of
underlying
my first
European
jobs.
stocks
His
gain
name's
in
Jeff.
euro
I feel sorry
terms,
for him
the
because
U.S.
you shouldn't feel
investor
sorry for him.
may experience
He's
lower
now
or negative
72, and
returns due to
he
currency
was saying on
losses.
the channel, "Hey, when I sold you that
Which
Porsche,
of the following is
did you
true
have it? It's
about
so cool that I
529
hired you. You
education
made a
saving
career." And
plans?
I thought, oh man, he must be getting
True
lonely.
about
He's
529.
surfing YouTube.
There are income
I have to
limits
reach out
for
with him, but I told him,
this.
in his case, same thing. I said, Jeff, you're a great learning experience, but guys like me, we got to leave at some point because you won't pay us.
Tax
And he says,
deductible.
well, that's my business model. I teach people things, I pay them lower wages, and they leave me. I go,
Remind me
and I
later.
felt like saying, that's why
That's a
you're
bad
up
business
now,
model.
right? If you would have paid people, you could have a whole
Wants to
group
see
of
if I
people
want to
that
update my
are still
computer,
around and,
but not when
working.
I'm in the zone.
Actually, it's true though. I feel like networking is everything, especially in finance. I don't know. That's how I got this job. I worked at Wells out
Qualified
of high
withdrawals for
school, and then
education
I'm
tax
coming back
free.
now, like 5 or 6
I'd
years later,
imagine
in a
that is true.
much better position. So that's kind of
The
nice.
The other
beneficiary
thing too is,
controls the account.
with Jamie Dimon's taking heat for this, so is the guys at Goldman Sachs. But old guys like Dean are saying,
Yeah.
listen, it's neat to be able to work from home,
Ah.
but you miss the opportunities
Wait, what?
and the institutional knowledge you could learn by coming to work. So,
Okay.
we're not trying to punish you by
Hmm.
telling you we want you to come to the office 3 days a week.
Qualified
Embrace it. Come
distribution.
to the office,
Seriously.
have lunch, and talk to the people who can teach you some things.
I thought that they had control. Then who controls it? I guess the custodian. That's the whole
A
time?
is not correct. Coverdell USA is light up to 2,000. That should
Yeah,
not have
you're
taken me that long.
you are correct.
Discretionary authority and investment account
That's probably one of my weakest
allows the
areas.
advisor to.
Yeah, well, that's okay. You're doing pretty good so far. So so
Discretionary
far so good.
authority.
A working group convened by NASA has developed a model fee disclosure schedule to help investors better understand the costs involved in doing business with their broker dealer. The template has broker dealers disclose all the following fees except.
Discretionary authority allows the advisor to make investment decisions, determining what, when, and
See?
how much to buy or sell without
Yeah,
obtaining
well,
prior
the interest
final
charge is
approval
going to be,
for
so
each
you say debit
transaction. It does
balances.
not authorize withdrawals or
Oh,
Are we
beneficiary
going to tell you the interest
beneficiary
charges on your
changes,
margin
which
account? Well, you
require
certainly are. That is going to be in our
separate authorization.
disclosures of fees to you.
Investor buyer. An investor buys a call option with a
it's
strike
so
price of
D and
55
B.
for a
Yeah, I don't like
$4
Was
the
premium.
phraseology on this test, on this question.
What
You missed
is
it.
the
yeah.
break-even
Is it
point
A?
for
Here's
this
what they're getting
investment?
at. Markups and markdowns aren't part of this model fee disclosure.
Got it.
Markups and markdowns and commissions are on the confirmation.
The strike price? What
So
is the
what they're really getting
break-even
is,
point
where's the
for this
disclosure
investment?
made? This is made in this template we're discussing. The interest on your debit
Call.
balance is in
He
that
buys a
disclosure.
call option.
And then remember, the other
So he
question here
has
is we
the
have to give you 30-day
option. He
advance
has
notice
the
to change the
option
fee,
to buy.
right? And so
Yeah,
cost of overnight delivery
65.
service, markups and markdowns. The
To
answer is
break
A, because that
even,
is
and he
disclosed, but
paid
not in that
$4
template.
for it.
Got it.
That's disclosed on
So
your
he'd have to
confirmation.
buy it at a discount. So it would have to be
As used in the
55 plus
regulations, the
4,
term
which is
in-person
59.
investment advice means.
My dog's barking. I gotta take a break real quick. I'll be right back.
B.
Hold up, yeah. My dog's barking.
C. It's D.
Good job. Good job.
I thought I've seen this question. I think I've always thought it was C until recently because that what would that be like if you're getting like advice from a group of advisors
Well,
or
the
two
test question there
individuals?
is if we're working as a team, that's perfectly okay if we're affiliated with the same firm.
Mm-hmm.
And the test questionnaire is I don't have to disclose how the team is splitting up those commissions.
Correct.
I
Yep.
still have to disclose the fees or commissions, but I don't have to tell you what
We
team members.
split it. Yeah.
So that's a different disclosure. And then the second part is the team that's managing them, the people. That's Form ADV Part 2B.
Got it.
Firm, and 2B is the people. If an economist were to describe defensive issues, he would probably not include companies that produce.
A.
Yeah, right on. Building materials is cyclical. When things are good, they're really good.
Yep.
Bad, right? Defensive means resilient to the business cycle. So you got to eat, you got to wear clothes. If you're a smoker, you're probably going to smoke even more. Included in the definition of a derivative would be all the following except.
Options is a derivative.
Right on.
Futures are a derivative.
That's correct.
Rights are a derivative. So B.
Love it. I love it. Process of elimination. Your client purchases 100 shares of XYZ Electric Auto Company on the assumption that rising fuel costs will create more interest in more efficient means of transportation. If he's wrong, the resulting drop in the market price of that stock would be due to.
C.
Yeah, that's right. The business. You chose the wrong place to be, right?
Yep.
XYZ Aircraft Manufacturing Corporation, based in the U.S., announces a multi-billion-dollar order for its new jumbo jet from Fly Airlines, a Japanese-based carrier. When the sale is completed, there will be. I like this one.
Yep. Um, I've gotten this before, and it is a credit to the current account of the U.S. because it's
Right
based in
on,
the U.S.
right on. Money in, right? Credit's money in,
Yeah.
debit's money out,
Yeah.
right? And then you'll get one of the big differences on the 65 versus the 66 is there's more of this kind of economic stuff.
Yeah.
And then they'll also ask you again about the value of the dollar and how that would affect, in this case, let's call it Boeing, and let's call this Nippon Airlines. And so when the dollar is weak, that would help U.S. exporters. And when the dollar is strong, that would hurt U.S. exporters because we'd have to get more money for the product, right?
And so people are less likely to buy.
That's right,
Yeah.
right. So, and then they ask about when the dollar's strong, that would be cause a deficit to the balance of trade because when the dollar's strong, Americans are going to buy more tequila and more French wine and whatever, right? So, good job. If an investment advisor uses a questionnaire to determine a client's financial situation, the advisor is.
Definitely A.
Yeah, I mean, that's how a lot of us do it. I say, however, for me to do a really good job for you over time, I need to know a lot about you. The more I know about you, the better I'm going to be in determining suitability. The Seeking Alpha Growth Fund directs a sizable portion of its portfolio executions to your broker dealer. If the firm has this fund on its highly recommended list, this would be.
Conflict of interest. They would have. A.
Yeah, you love me and I love you. It's fine. We just got to disclose it. I say, hey, yeah, I like them. They do a lot of business with us. I do a lot of business for them. Uh, we aren't allowed to demand reciprocal business. I can't say, hey, you don't do your trade with me. I'm not going to sell your mutual funds. An individual wishing to register as an agent with a broker dealer may have to do which of these? You should know what is necessary to become an agent of a broker dealer.
It's definitely one.
Right on.
That would be 1 and 3 or 1 and 2.
According to modern
Agents,
portfolio
it's gonna
theory,
be C.
portfolio risk
Right
is
on.
most effectively reduced by
You'd
adding
only post a
assets
bond if
that
you
have
were taking custody
a
or
negative
Yeah,
correlation.
yeah. I don't really like this because usually it's not going to be the rep that posts the bond.
Correlation.
The security bond is going to be posted by the broker dealer. One of your clients invested $10,000 into a mutual fund. The client elected to reinvest all the dividends. This is very testable. This is called a DRIP, a dividend
Using the rule of
reinvestment
72.
program. And it's very testable. So this.
Yeah, where? That's what I'm gonna start doing. What are we on? We could just ask ChatGPT, or we could use Claude or ChatGPT. Claude's pretty awesome.
I think this is a roundabout way to get at the test question. So once you answer,
Claude
I'll tell you
out
what, it's going to be a little more straightforward than this.
And then we'll just yeah. Ooh, actually, hold up, because I don't want you to see my
I think it's just C.
Gotta create a new project.
It's not. What they're getting at in a roundabout way here is to know that you could have had those dividends, and as far as the IRS is concerned, however, that's the same as getting it. Okay. So you're going to pay taxes on those dividends whether you reinvest them or not. So that means when you reinvest them, that you're adding to your cost basis because that's new money. So I don't think it'll be that roundabout.
Should I just make a new project?
But the test takeaway is if a mutual fund offers a DRIP, a dividend reinvestment program, and you choose to reinvest the dividends in capital gains distributions, it's still taxable to you
Yeah.
because you got constructive receipt. And so that's why the answer
No,
here
it's gonna be a
is
new
A.
chat then.
Existing.
New chat,
Excuse me,
65.
not A. I'm sorry.
B.
B is in boy.
I had a question earlier. I don't remember what it was, but it was talking about that, and I totally got it. I think I got it wrong. I don't know what it was though.
No, they're fine. Even it's not transactions, it's a relationship. So you don't
Yeah.
need to put another tutoring stuff. You need to bump in that question. If it's a capital question, just send me the QID. I can bring
What
it up and
aspect
see what
of
you're looking at
that was the whole
backstage.
thing?
One other point, remember,
Full
this is
study
the
plan,
major
strategy,
distinction
practice test.
between a variable annuity, which is a mutual fund with the insurance wrapper, and a variable annuity. You don't get constructive receipt. I say to you all,
Full
did you get a
study,
choice about what to do with the separate account, the dividends,
I
and
guess
the separate
topic
account, the capital gains?
breakdown on
You go, no,
key
those
concepts.
bastards made me reinvest. Now, that sounds like a bad thing, but that's a good thing because if you must reinvest, which you do in a variable annuity, you get no constructive receipt and the money grows tax
Which
deferred.
topics? Which
Yeah.
topic
Right, so a
area?
little different. By the way, and if this
All
was
of
in your
them, dude.
retirement plan, it wouldn't matter, but in your personal account, it does matter. Issuing callable bonds is advantageous to the issuer because it allows the company to
I'm not even sure which one I mess up the most on. I'm not sure. Does it tell us what we've been missing? Yeah, debt securities, alternative investments, equity securities. So investment vehicles. This is actually a perfect J right here.
I don't think it's D. I don't think it's C. Definitely not B. Is it A?
right on. I think the best analogy is a mortgage.
Well,
Right? You
not
replace your
exactly
high cost
perfect. I'll
mortgage
take
with
that
a
back.
low cost mortgage, right? You call that away from your bank. I say, hey, Wells Fargo, I can get a cheaper mortgage elsewhere. Thank you. I'm paying off the mortgage. I'm replacing
Oh,
the
this
high
is
cost
actually
mortgage with a
probably
low cost mortgage.
perfect where Series 65 or
Which of the following
Claude has
statements
the new
regarding
Show
provisions
Me.
of the Investment Advisor Act
Claude has the
of
new Show Me
1940 is true?
feature. And I'm a visual learner, so this is gonna be cool. I'm gonna try to see if yeah, see, oh, see, you see how it's got laid out like that? Yeah, visuals. It's gonna be sick. Cool. Equity stocks and equity securities. Common. Oh, nice. What, and it said over here, what were we missing? Debt securities, alternative investments, equity securities. That's right here. Tap in a category to expand the key concepts and examine tips for the
D.
section. Each card also
D
has
is
a
correct.
button to
5 bars.
generate
That's right.
practice questions
That was a
directly.
weird one.
A few
Yeah,
things
I like
worth
the
knowing
phraseology is
about how
definitely
the
funky,
Series
right?
65 tests
So these you
investment
got to be real
vehicles.
careful. You got to
It
stay
rarely
focused on
asks you
three
to
of these things are
memorize
false.
definitions cold. It
A is
tends to
false,
give
B is
you
false, C is false,
a
D is
client
true.
scenario and asks which vehicles is most
7 years ago,
appropriate, or
Ivan was
asks
found guilty of
you to
embezzling
calculate
securities from clients.
something like
He now wishes to join
taxable
another brokerage firm.
equivalent
Which of the following
yield
statements
or
is true
NAV. So you
regarding this
study each
situation? Yeah, I think
category,
he's going to have a little bit
practice
of a problem.
applying the concepts to situations rather than just reciting them.
Yeah.
The heaviest
It would be
tested
B.
areas are typically
He cannot
bonds,
be employed because he's
price
still subject to
yield,
statutory disqualification. You are
duration,
correct.
munis,
Misdemeanor involving monies and
mutual
securities
funds,
is a crime.
ETFs, and
You
options,
couldn't be employed as like
max
a.
gains,
I'm trying to think. You couldn't be employed as like an administrator or something.
derivatives,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
alternatives are tested
They
less
would frown on
frequently
that
but
because
tend
they're
to
going to
trip
say,
people up
why,
when they
why are
do
you still doing
appear.
business with this guy? But yeah.
Want me to drill
Okay.
into
Two
any
contrasting
specific areas or
styles of
run you through
portfolio
some
management are
practice
growth
questions?
and value.
Practice questions
Which of the
after we look
following
through this. I love
pairs
Claude. I love AI.
describes that contrast?
Stocks and
Kind of
equity
interesting.
securities. Common stock. Residual ownership with voting rights. Last in liquidation priority after creditors and preferred holders.
Earnings momentum and book value, though you have the opposite. I think that's a
Preferred
good
stock.
answer, right? Growth
Fixed
guys are concerned with
dividend
earnings
priority
momentum
over
and not
common
book
and
value.
liquidation.
Fundamental analysis, value is
Usually
concerned with
no
book value,
voting
not
rights.
earnings momentum.
Cumulative
So good answer.
preferred accrues missed
Which of the
dividends.
following are non-financial considerations? This is testable.
Depository receipts allow
non-financial
U.S. investors to
considerations
buy foreign stocks
that
in
need
U.S.
to be factored
exchanges,
in the client's
subject
investment
to
portfolio
currency risk,
recommendations. I like it. They're
and
saying
rights
it doesn't go on
and
the balance sheet or
warrants.
the income statement, but it's
Rights.
still certainly important
Right.
in terms of suitability.
Oh yeah, A.
Yeah,
The
right on.
warrants like a
Right
long
on.
term.
That's
Yeah.
very much on the test, right? And the
Yeah.
way you get it right is just it's
Know
something
the
that doesn't go
order
on
of
the balance sheet of the
claims.
customer or the income statement.
Secured
All the following
creditors and
statements regarding
unsecured
futures
creditors, preferred
contracts
stockholders.
are true except so in the
Unsecured creditors. That's the
we definitely know the
debentures.
winner is
That's
the
funny.
futures that we're going to use those
Okay.
in our customer's
Secured,
portfolio
then
rather
unsecured debenture
using
bonds,
forwards.
unsecured
That would
bond,
be
creditor
one
bonds,
reason
and then preferred. Yeah.
we would do that.
It's A because I think
Practice.
you can.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
I don't
close
think
it.
you yeah, you don't have to technically
That's right.
actually receive delivery.
Yeah, you just do the offset, right? So if you sold it, you bought it. If you bought it, you sold it. An order is received from one of your clients to purchase 200 shares of Jimco at 45 GPC.
This is so cool.
Goodell cancel.
This is so cool.
2 days later, while at a luncheon
Oh
meeting,
God! Because this is so
client,
cool, I have
informed
no
that
excuse
an
not to
individual had
fail.
the inside scoop.
Or,
The
yeah.
Jimco is subject to an FBI investigation. An hour after your
No
return, you see an
pressure.
execution report for 200 shares at 44.90. And under the Insider Trading Act Enforcement Act of 1988.
I don't know if I should be scared how long these are taking. Fucking hard as shit.
Ooh, this is a weird one.
Nope.
Oops.
Besides. Okay.
I don't think
this
it's
is cool.
C.
Making our own practice tests.
Yeah,
This is actually how we started out to ChatGPT first.
Yeah, you're not
First
in
time having
violation.
Claude
Not in
have
violation
a go at it.
Not in violation of the unsolicited.
I actually don't care who hears this, but I do
B.
think Claude is better right now.
Yeah, you missed it. It's actually D.
than
D?
OpenAI
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
that's okay. Not a bad miss. The timing is kind of there. It's not that makes it unsolicited. Even if you solicited that, you wouldn't be in trouble, right? So whether that's
because you didn't know.
Yeah. So the
grandma
pivot is
wakes
not
up in the
idea
middle of
that
the
it's
night and
unsolicited.
she acts
The
like
pivot is that
it's
it's
not
you,
quiet as
you didn't
fuck,
know.
and she has to blast her shit. You don't
Which of the following
need
portfolio management styles
any
would
of
most
your
likely
image.
incur? This is very much a test question. The highest transaction costs.
Okay, a company is
They love to
being
torment you. The
liquidated.
test is prejudicial.
Which of the following
They don't like high cost structures. So whether it's
would be paid last? Common
tactical
stock.
or alpha or whatever it is, they like the low transaction
Oh, this is
cost
so
tax
cool.
efficiency is where the
This
test
is so
is
cool.
prejudicial. A letter of intent to buy a mutual fund can be backdated to include previous investments during the past.
90
Cool.
days.
Right on.
Alright, in
Well, how good is
liquidation,
that?
the
90 days
priority
is
order
inclusive
is
of the
secured
total time
creditors
frame.
first, and then
What is the
secured
total
and
time frame?
preferred.
Inclusive of the
Bear the most
letter of
risk and are last, and sometimes
13
yeah,
months.
they don't get any.
Excellent. Can investment clubs pool their purchases for purposes of meeting a
Investor
breakpoint?
holds cumulative
Absolutely
preferred
not.
stock that
There you
has missed
If we're
dividend
talking about a
payments
breakpoint,
for
are
the
we talking
past
about
2
an A
years before
share,
the company can
a
pay
B
a
share,
dividend
or
to
a C
common
share?
stockholders. It must
We're talking about A
pay
share.
only. It has,
Right
I
on.
think,
Remember the
yeah,
long term
cumulative.
with a lot of money to invest.
Pay all
Yep,
of
main
his
one.
preferred
sales load.
dividends
Right on.
plus
Good job.
the current.
What is the maximum sales charge on a mutual fund?
8.5%.
Right on. There's a lot of questions here. I mean, this is kind of target rich. I call you.
I believe it's that
I
one.
say, hey, Oliver, you ought to buy the fund today. Because if you buy the fund today, you get the
Did I get
dividend.
this wrong?
If you wait till tomorrow, the NAV is going down by the dividend. Selling dividends is a big no-no. You say, Dean, isn't that an artifice?
Oh, yeah.
Cumulative preferred stock requires that.
Or I say, hey, Oliver, the breakpoint's at 50 grand. You ought to buy $49,999.
Yeah.
So I can maximize my
A
commission.
U.S. investor wants exposure to
That's
French
very
company
basic.
without
That's what the
buying
breakpoints
shares
say,
on a
right?
foreign
Yep.
exchange.
I'm trying to
Which of
maximize.
the
So breakpoints
following
are good, but
allows
breakpoint
this?
sales are very bad. Howard is an owner of 4 different insurance policies. Wow. Which of the following policies has death benefits proceeds
ADRs or
that
US
are not
rates?
subject to income tax upon death?
Oh God, I hate these questions.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think insurance is,
Which of the
I joke
following
insurance
best
agents sell
describes
fear
a
and
stockbroker?
stockbrokers sell greed. Insurance agents say, wouldn't it be terrible if? And stockbrokers say, hey, wouldn't life be great if I'm duly registered, I can sell both fear and greed.
The common stock,
That's me.
a long-term option
Is the
issued
order for
alongside.
subject to income tax upon the death of the insured.
A short-term privilege allowing existing shareholders to buy new shares at a discount before the public. Oh, I believe that is the one. A mandatory exchange for preferred stock or common stock. A mandatory.
So it's 1, 2, and I know it's 1 and 2.
The rights are short-term privileges given to existing shareholders, allowing them to purchase.
Taking 1 or 2, right? You got to take 3 now because you're
at a
correct.
subscription
It's 1, 2,
price
so now
below
you're taking
current
3.
market price.
Yeah.
So now all you got to decide is you're going to put 4 in.
4.
Which statement about preferred stock is most accurate? No voting rights allowed.
I'm gonna say it's D.
You're correct. Remember, they're not asking about the
always no
taxes. They're just asking you. Life insurance is not taxable to the insured.
Fixed
Right? That's one of the advantages
fixed
of life
income,
insurance.
I believe.
So if you're the insured and you die, it's not going to have any tax consequence
to it. Preferred stock
portfolio maximizes
prices are more
preferences
volatile
with respect to return and risk.
honestly. No, I don't see how that could be a thing. Okay, results. First Claude test, 5 out of 5. Let's go.
Let's see. Not B.
Try bonds topic. That's crazy. Okay. Bonds and debt securities. Oh, debt securities is what I suck at too. Bonds. Price and yield relation.
Not a particular portfolio.
Okay, bond prices move inversely with interest rates. Yeah. When rates rise, bonds fall. That is tested constantly. This is tested constantly.
Which is kind of stupid.
Yeah, okay, so
efficient frontier
price and yield.
Just not to this particular question.
Oh, interest rates.
Among the characteristics of a levered ETF fund is that you will get
that's the income yield, yeah. All right. Duration.
Definitely not. I mean, they can.
Zero coupons have the highest duration for their maturity. Duration measures interest rate sensitivity.
No, that's not true. We can sell to retail investors. Kind of scary.
Long and low. Long and low.
Requirement. It's not a private investor. Just means private placement. This isn't a private placement.
Municipal bonds.
Yeah,
interest in.
They're just throwing the word levered in there.
Municipal example. Federal.
Jedi mind trick.
So
often states
testable distinctions about open-end mutual funds and ETFs is open-end funds are not marginable. ETFs are. And then C, that's wrong. But they don't do the leverage doesn't come from bank borrowing. It comes from the use of futures. And they're not for the long term. These are short-term trading vehicles.
Oh, municipal bond.
You're gonna get this, and you're also
divided by 1 minus tax rate 2, so it's heavy. Okay, treasury securities.
ETF. A general risk component representing the variability of a stock's total return
securities
as it directly relates to the overall movements in
the
general economy.
All right.
This is B.
T-bills.
I'm sorry.
Discount.
B.
Systematic
greater than 1 year.
Of a stock's total
T-notes.
As the overall
2 of the 10 years. T-bonds.
Here they didn't tell us that's the
20
market.
and 30 years. TIPS adjust principal for inflation.
The stock itself, right? But you're correct. It's the 10 to 2 securities prices move together.
The taxable equivalent yield formula
inadvertently mails stock certificates. This is testable. The
heavily
IA.
tested.
The IA does not maintain
practice converting
so you were
muni
supposed
yields
to send it
to
to the
compare with
and you send it to
corporate
my
bonds
investment advisor.
for
If the
clients in
certificates
different
were
tax
received on
brackets.
Monday,
It's very
NASA
fucking good to
rules
know.
would require
Practice
that
questions.
the certificates be.
I love this so much, and then I could just, I can ask. This is so cool.
You'd have to return it, so it's not
This is so
B.
cool.
It's not
What?
A.
Hey, whoa, hey, but there. There we go.
I don't think it'll be as nasty as this because what they're asking you to do is apply the number of
Dang,
hours
studying's
to the
actually
answer.
kind of fun.
Yeah, and it's.
Call me a weirdo.
Or how many
If
hours
you
it
won't.
is.
I think it's 72 or 48.
Correct. 22 hours would be 3 days, right?
So it would be A, no later than Tuesday.
No
or
later.
Thursday.
There you go. Right. So the 72 hours, I think, will be how they'll test it, but you just then have to apply the 72 to the this answer set.
And
The company
I think when we
releases
take
information about the
breaks,
economy on a
we
monthly
could easily
basis.
just switch over to
They
move with
include
Reezuhn too.
number of different indicators. Economic
This is gonna be
indicators
sick.
could be leading, lagging, or coincidental, which indicates the timing of their changes.
Interest
relative
rates
to the
rise
economy.
from
Which of the
4%
following is a
to
coincident
6%.
indicator?
Okay,
Tells
so
us
when
when
rates go up, bonds go down,
On the
prices
real
go down.
test, the one to worry about are leading
What happens to the
economic
price
indicators,
Yep.
not
of the
coincident.
existing bond?
But
It
that being
goes
said,
up.
which one do you think is coincident?
Yo, I just asked. I just.
Yeah, you should definitely know A. You should have been able to eliminate that because that's a leading economic indicator.
Yep.
So A is out.
I'm actually going to go with C.
C, agricultural employment. No.
From the study group.
It's going to be industrial production. I wouldn't worry about this at all in terms of coincidence. The two I would know.
I should say join the study group.
Right. All those others are leading indicators. Employment
Let's see that. Get some people up here.
Oh,
I got smoke coming off my finger.
The other one I would know besides stock prices
That's cool.
is the yield curve.
Mm-hmm.
The yield curve. When we have a negative or inverted yield curve, that too is a negative.
The stream's current bit rate is
right
higher
now,
than the we recommend.
That means there's a lot of uncertainty about what's
I
going to
don't
happen.
know how to turn that shit down.
A normal yield curve is when short-term rates are lower than long-term rates. I always joke, Oliver, if anybody asks you about economics, finance, or investments, you want to sound smart, you should say it has a lot to do with interest rates. If you just shut up, you sound good. People say, what about them? You say they fluctuate. Is that good news or bad news? You say it depends. Tell me some more. And then if you want to spice up, you can say, I'm watching the Fed. I'm concerned about monetary policy. And, and then get tested. I joke, we're not trying to, 65.
Let's see, yeah, join the study session. Come on in, We're all nerds out here. Well, you don't even have to be studying the same thing. Shit, we'll get you the video ninja.
Which of the following statements is true?
Hop up on here, talk shit. We can move with Reezuhn, play some chess and our breaks. Come on down. Alright, the company is being liquidated. Wait, I already seen that one. And just, yeah. What happens to the price of the existing long-term bond?
I would say A.
Yeah,
interest rates
the false impression of volume.
Yeah.
rise sharply.
That's called painting
when
the
rates
tape.
go up, bonds for the price.
Painting the tape. Good
bonds,
answer.
it falls.
The death benefit of a variable life policy
bond prices
must be
and
calculated. So you're going to
move
a couple
inversely.
insurance questions. If you tell me you missed the
Newly
test
issued
because of
bonds pay
insurance,
higher
they come on,
coupons,
you
so
have big
existing
problems.
bonds with lower coupons become less
It's A.
attractive,
Yeah, right on.
and their
I just have
prices
to
fall. This is
Yeah,
the
that's
single
wrong.
most
Choose
testable
one.
relationship in
Which among
fixed
statements
income section. Know
concerning
it
international
cold.
direct investing is
A municipal bond
international
yield
direct investing.
yields 4.5%,
I'm assuming,
and
again, this is part of
investor
the language on the
is
test, and I told you the guy at Kaplan, Chuck Lowenstein, he's don't
what
tell
is
my
the
son I love him,
taxable
but he's a bigger jerk
equivalent
than the real
yield?
jerks on the test intentionally. So
Oh,
I'm
they
assuming
just
this
talked
means we're
about
not going to be using a
equivalent yield.
mutual
It
fund.
equals.
We're not going to be using an ADR is what I'm thinking this means.
taxable equivalent yield equals divided by 1 minus tax rate,
Yeah,
which
I think that's the
equals
best answer, given that
4.5
answer.
divided by
Yeah.
1
Yeah, do they have
minus
10 Qs? I don't know.
0.32
They have
equals
10K.
45 divided
They
by
do. Is it in English or is it in,
0.68 equals 6 point. What?
Espanol? What is the case? Which of the following people would
Damn,
not
fuck.
meet the definition
Ah, fuck.
of a person
Damn,
associated with
this
an
is rough.
investment
This
advisor?
tells you what a
Now, when I hear
taxable
this, I think
bond
somebody
would
who's not
need
going to
to
be taking a
yield to
65
match
or a 60,
the
65.
after-tax return of the muni. If a corporate bond yields less than 6 months, the muni is better after-tax choice for this investor. Okay. Damn. Equivalent yield equals muni yield divided by 1 minus tax rate. Muni yield divided by 1 minus tax rate. And in this case, it's 4.5 divided by 1 divided by 32% equals 45. 1 minus
C is in Charlie?
Yep, that's
equals.
that's correct. Like that does meet the definition.
Yeah, which of the following people would there? Yeah, good point.
Okay.
You gotta be careful
Okay.
of not
Next question.
being embedded in there. So you are correct.
Which of the following bond types has the highest
I think
interest
here I
rate
would
price
have
risk
attempted
for
to
given
use, it sounds like you're
maturity?
using it,
Which of the following
the
bond
Sesame
types
Street
has the
trick. One of these things
highest
is not
interest
like
rate
the other,
price?
or process of elimination. And so if you're using process of elimination, one thing I would want you
Highest
to do is
interest
take it off the
rate
table once you've dealt with it. So
price
you've
risk
dealt with
for a
that,
given
and
maturity.
you're telling me
A
correctly
bond
that
with
that
a
does meet the
high
definition.
coupon rate.
That person is going to get registered. And so we're gonna, once we deal with it, we're gonna say, okay, well, once we've dealt with it, we're
Highest
taking it off the
interest
table.
rate
So I'm trying to take it off the table. There we go. So that's out.
risk.
So now you have a 1 in 3 chance.
So I think it's A because I think B is correct and D is correct.
I said something
Well, B
about zero
is
coupons.
Zero
coupon bonds have the highest duration.
I've said the way I like to
and
go about
therefore
this
the highest
is it
price
says which of the
sensitivity.
following people. So
Risk,
people means these
risk
are
and
natural
sensitivity
persons,
to
living, breathing human
interest
beings
rate
walking on planet
changes
Earth,
for
would
any
not meet the
given
definition of
maturity,
a person associated
because
with
all
investment
cash
advisor.
flows occur
So I then
at
think, okay,
maturity
one of
with
these
no
people
interim
is not
coupons.
likely to have to
An
take a 65.
investor waits the longest on average.
Considered to be a parent or worse during
Sorry.
investment
Oh, jeez. To receive payments, maximizing interest rate,
So you were
high
saying
coupon
the answer. What's
bonds,
your
and
answer?
floating rate
A
bonds have lower
brokerage firm is
durations.
considered to be the
A
parent
client
of a
wants
registered
inflation
investment
protection
advisor. They're going to
in
have
their
to
bond
register as an
portfolio.
investment
Which
advisory firm.
So it'd be B.
Which treasury
It's actually B, the
security
typist.
is
So the key word there is typist.
specifically
Yeah, because it's like
Yeah, she's doing is
designed for
putting
this?
the information in the computer. She's not,
Wants
that
inflation
prepares the
protection.
weekly research bulletins, publishing system. She's not a research analyst.
yeah,
That shouldn't be
Strict.
protecting,
prejudicial.
replacing
I said she's a
orders.
she. Who knows? Maybe an E. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair.
The point is, it's
Why did I
B.
say
So that was a bad
tips
miss.
suggest their
What'd you say, A,
principal
I think?
value with
Yeah.
changes
You're doing
in the
okay though.
consumer
I
price
think like I say,
index.
you gotta not
As
be too
inflation
hard on yourself.
rises,
But
the
keyword there is
principal
typist.
increases,
Mhm.
which in
And then
turn
operating
increases
the
the
publishing
coupon
system,
payment.
and she doesn't
Since
actually.
it's a
She's
fixed
not the one
percentage
preparing
of
the
a
research
growing
column. She just,
principal,
the
maturity
system.
investors at maturity investors
If a
receive the
business
higher.
fails because of a new technology that makes its products obsolete, this would be an example of.
Tips are the go-to
Yeah, and the easiest way to
instrument
avoid that is diversify.
for
Right?
inflation protection.
Easy way to diversify is a mutual fund. Right on.
I don't. I've gotten that so many
Under
times, and
SEC
all of a sudden
release
I'm on a new thing. And
1092, this is an interpretive
which of the
release.
following statements
Which standards are
about general
used to define
obligation go?
a investment advisor?
They are backed by the revenue. Oh no, they are backed by the full taxing
Business
authority of
business
issuing.
compensation is the business's principal
General
activity.
obligation by credit and taxing power of the issuing municipality. 3 out of 5 retake quiz. Interest rates rise sharply. What happens? It falls because.
I think it's B.
Excellent. Well, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay, yeah.
Not so excellent. You are putting out A,
which
or Roman numeral 1,
the
and that's
highest
ABC. ABC. I give investment advice.
tips.
B, I'm in the business of giving investment advice. There's the B. And I want compensation. A, B, C. 1, 2, and 3 meet the definition of an investment advisor. A, B, C.
So it doesn't have to be its principal activity.
No, some of us do, don't do it as our principal. I want my investment advisory firm. I'd say, Oliver, I have a broker dealer and I have an investment advisory side. Something I need to disclose to you. I spend very little time on the investment advisory side of the business. A major part of my business is on the broker dealer side. I'm still, willing to accept your funds and manage them for you as your investment advisor, but you should know it's not my principal business activity.
Yeah, I guess I should have thought about that like a lawyer too.
I just have to disclose how much of my business is devoted to that.
Got it.
Which of the following risks most likely would be reduced as the result of a tangible asset to an investor's portfolio?
Inflation.
Right on, right? That's that gold. Under the Uniform Securities Act, all the following are included in the definition of the term exempt transaction, except.
I gotta pause.
That is a miss, except, right? Oh, no, you're correct, because it's.
Let me just mute him for a second. Okay, so I guess you guys can't hear it, so it's cool. Interesting. So I can hear it, but you can't hear it. Audio is definitely interesting. Okay, so I guess you guys can't hear it, so it's cool. Interesting. Yeah, audio's wild. Okay, cool. Well, that's shit. Yeah, I ain't gotta read shit. That's cool, but I don't gotta worry about the audio bothering y'all.
On you, see,
It's not bad. It's not bad.
I'm gonna keep working on it. It's not ready for prime time yet.
No. It's getting there. It's getting there. It's in the works.
Keep working on it. According to the Investment Advisor Act of 1940, which among statements about an agency cross is not true? So remember, dual agency.
Yeah, let me bring her back.
I'm representing the buyer and the seller.
Okay, this is cool as
nothing wrong with it. They have different interests, certainly, because the seller wants to pay or receive the highest amount of money possible, and the buyer wants to pay the least amount of money possible. And so I would disclose that conflict of interest. Right on. That's very much on the test. Current assets on a corporate balance sheet. People tell me they.
And then I gotta work on the hotkey.
When they don't, they give you a couple of them, then you have to figure out which ones they are, right? So current assets are cash or things we plan to turn to cash within 12 months. Did you answer C? Good job. If we took the current assets and we minus the inventory
ratio,
what would we be left with? Be careful because you answered something I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I'm asking you, we took the current assets minus the current the inventory, current assets minus inventory, and then we divided. That'd be a ratio. I didn't ask you that. I asked if we simply take the current assets and we minus the inventory, what are we left with?
Readily.
quick assets.
It's quick assets. I was just gonna say readily available.
Well, then
So
remember
it's
that.
quick assets.
And then we have a current ratio, but we also have that acid test ratio.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Alright,
Difference
exam
between
tip.
current ratio and
No
acid
nav
test
calculate or no nav
is the acid test
calculations.
says, well, let's not count the
Assets
inventory.
minus
Let's take the
liabilities
quick
divided by
assets because we don't have
shares
to turn the inventory into cash as
outstanding.
quickly because then we don't get a margin.
Assets minus
But which one
liabilities
describes
divided by shares
unsystematic
outstanding.
risk?
Open-ended versus
Unsystematic
closed-ended
risk.
So can we
distinctions are
diversify?
our favorite exam topic.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the way to
Okay.
attack it. If it's
I
unsystematic,
still don't know what
that means it
open.
can be
Okay, so
mitigated through
open-ended versus
diversification.
closed-ended.
If it's systematic, that means
Closed-ended
diversification
funds,
risk prevails despite your
fixed share
diversification.
account or fixed share account. Trade on exchange can trade at premium or discount to NAV. A key distinction from open-end funds is that they can trade at premium or discount
What's that?
as opposed
I said
to
A.
open.
You are correct.
Alright, now we gotta practice. Fact.
Am I quiet?
I just didn't hear that time. It could be. I get beautiful day in Vegas. I got my window open, so it's could be just the gardener next door making noise. A quantitative evaluation using the future value
I'm
compensation.
setting up the J.
Which of the following is not needed? So about inputs and outputs.
Soon we will converge. Why don't I hear
We would need a rate of return. We would need
oh, I
time
think
period
it's an hour and 30 minutes. That's so funny. Dean always takes a break, and I was like, "Where is he?" Because we're not like really listening to him, but like when it's silent, I'm like, "What? Where'd he go?" But he does like to take breaks with his students.
Okay, so
That's
I'm
funny, yeah.
between
And he'd be like,
the
"All right,
account value
it's about that time. Let's
period
get back."
and the account value at the start of the period.
I
And
like ways of test taker when you have two answers that are opposite.
yeah.
A mutual
You
fund
can't
has
leave
the
them
total
both there.
assets
One
of
of them has to
500
count
million,
because they
total
can't exist,
liabilities
right?
of 20
I
million,
call
and
this the principle of mutual
48
solution.
million shares
Socrates
outstanding.
is a dog.
What is the NAV
Socrates
per
is
share?
a philosopher. You can't be both. He's either a dog or a philosopher. Right? So you're correct.
Assets
It's either
minus
B or D.
liabilities divided by shares outstanding.
Using the future value computation.
So what to do? Here's my
Assets
example.
minus
Right?
liabilities
I have a client who is 50 years
minus
old,
liabilities
has $100,000.
divided by
He
shares
wants $400,000
outstanding.
in the future.
That's 48
Right? So we're
million.
trying to figure out what is the future value. We're gonna
So
be able
10.
to figure out what that is. We need to know the time period, 20 years. The rate of return, 7.2%.
Exactly 10.
And the money we started with.
I think we got
So
that
it
one.
would be the account
Okay, which of
value
the
at the end of
following
the
is a
period.
key
That's what we're
structural
solving for.
difference
That's not part of
between
the input.
an
Got it.
open-ended mutual
Yeah,
fund and a
so if it's future value computation, it's asking for the future value. If it's like
Love it. Love it.
present
So
value, yeah.
exactly
close
right.
and
Or if we just now change the question, let's make sure we give it to you correctly. But if we change this question, and now I said same question, I'm
open-ended
just going to change
funds
one word.
continuously
To make a
issued.
quantitative evaluation of present value.
There's something about discount and stuff too.
Computation, which of the
Open-ended
following
funds
is
can only be
not
purchased
needed?
directly from the
Well, D is not needed because that's what we're trying to solve.
closed-ended funds must
What's needed
distribute.
is what we have at the future value, 400, right? The time period, 20 years. The rate of return, 7.2.
The
So
defining
exactly.
structural
This
difference
is future value. So that's what we're solving for.
is open-end
And
funds
this is present.
continuously
Good
create
job.
and redeem shares at NAV. Open-ended funds. There's
Al is an
no
investment advisor
secondary
representative
market.
for a federal government advisor. Al has discretionary authority over
Closed-end
most of his accounts
funds
and determines the
issue
shares
a
of the RAND
fixed number of
Corporation
shares
are a suitable
through
investment
an
for 7 of them.
IPO, after
He enters
which
a buy order
shares
for
trade
1,000
on
shares
an
of RAND and
exchange
receives
like
3
stocks.
trade confirmations, all at slightly different prices. When allocating these shares
So
to
they
his
can
clients,
trade out their
how should he determine
favorite exam
the price
distinction.
per share?
I hate that it's the favorite exam distinction. Fuck. I don't even know if we got that right or not. Closed-ended funds.
D.
Closed-ended
right on. You gotta
funds
be
issue a
fair.
fixed number of shares through an IPO.
There's that jerk.
Closed-ended
With
funds
high
have a
price.
fixed
Oh,
number
that's my
of
favorite
shares
customer.
Hey,
What are the prohibited
okay.
practices on the
I think we
Uniform
got that one.
Securities Act is market
An ETF
manipulation?
is trading.
Which of the
An
following are
ETF is trading
examples of
at
a broker-dealer
102,
engaged in
while the
that practice?
underlying basket of
Market
securities
manipulation.
has a NAV of 100. Which of the following best explains why this difference is generally short-lived?
C.
You said 3 and 4. You are correct. Arbitrage is perfectly okay. Churning is not, but churning is a market
The
manipulation. That's a good job.
Yeah.
KPT is preparing to report its net income for the past year.
authorized.
So we have our income statement, we have our top line revenue, and then we pay all our bills, and then we have bottom line. An increase in which of the following
I feel
causes
like I
a
could kind of
decrease?
hear him, but
An
did I turn
increase
him
in
down
which
or
of the
something?
following causes a decrease. So I like to think,
Yeah,
okay,
he's
so I'm
just like
looking at
turned
an
down
income
super
statement. I
low.
got my top
Oh,
line
I can't hear
revenue,
myself
and
either.
they're saying what's going to make my bottom line go down. An increase in something in between there is going to make my bottom line go down because I'm going to have more expenses, is the way I would think about it. But we'll see if that plays
Am I
out.
tripping? Am I tripping?
So I'm fairly certain it's 2.
I thought I already
'Cause
had all that.
I'm thinking cash dividends are definitely a part of something that decreases
Yeah,
your net income.
Fixed
well,
up.
we kind of
Now I
got you
can't
here.
hear
Cash
myself.
dividend comes after we have
Check,
net
check.
income.
Hey,
We're going to have earnings available
what is
to
going
common,
on, her?
and then we decide whether we're going to pay a dividend
Hello?
or not. So the
So
dividend.
it would be D.
So yeah, the dividend is going to do it. If our tax rate went up, our
Oh,
bottom line
man.
would go down.
Audio
Right? And
always
if
has me
our
fucked.
interest on our loans goes up, our bottom line goes down. So it's actually 1 and 3. I think the best way to think of this is,
When you got
your own
turned on,
personal
so
income statement,
whatever.
right? So you have
Okay,
money
whatever.
coming in, you have money going out. And they're asking what increase in money going out is going to cause the bottom line to go down, right? So cash dividends are paid after we have taken care of everything else, the preferred stockholders, the interest on the debt, the taxes. And so we have what are called earnings available to common. That's called earnings per share when we divide by the number of shares.
Yep.
And then we decide whether to retain it or pay it out as a dividend or keep some, pay out some as a dividend, whatever the case may
Assets
be.
minus liabilities.
When comparing cash and margin accounts, it's important to note.
Okay, yeah, assets minus liabilities.
C.
Is trading.
An investor can lose more than, that's right on. Same supercharged speed you make money with is the same supercharged speed you're making money.
Shit, I don't get it.
Investing emerging market stocks is likely to expose your client to which of the following risks?
Oh, is that the last question?
C.
Whatever.
I'm not sure on that one. You're correct. What was your logic behind that?
It's the least likely currency you could definitely experience because you're converting the currency.
The other ones are definitely right. Politics.
Large institutional
Yeah.
firms.
The dictator takes your stuff. Right?
Yeah.
All along would be reasons for an employer to choose a non-qualified plan over a qualified plan, except.
Following reasons would be for an employer to choose a non-qualified plan over a qualified plan.
Client asks about a fund they use that uses leverage, sells securities short, and is only available to accredited investors. This best describes a
Okay, I'm between A and C.
Yeah, I like it. You're on the right track.
Yeah. C, plan with immediate income tax.
I think this one's kind of hard to kind of figure out what it's about. So when I'm thinking employer non-qualified plan, I immediately think of deferred comp.
Sure. So you're not going to
get. Not asking about a variable annuity because that wouldn't be through your employer.
Those are like
right. So when I hear the word non-qualified, I think variable annuity, but then I go, but yeah, it's employer. You don't get variable annuities from your employer. That's something you do on your own.
Well, no.
So now I'm thinking, okay, well, if it's an employer and it's non-qualified, I'm thinking deferred compensation.
So I'm thinking C because
that's exactly right. I get the employer says to Oliver, if you have deferred comp, we're going to save some money because we're not going to pay you that money now.
Got it.
We're going to pay you later. So I think it's kind of tough in this question to get to deferred comp. I mean, I could, if I didn't kind of go through this and think non-qualified, this is how I rolled back. I said, well, variable annuity, but then I read the question again and it says employer. I go, okay, well, that's not a variable annuity. So, okay, non-qualified employer, deferred comp is where then I go to.
The thing for me was the non-qualified plan and then the ERISA requirements. You can't discriminate if you're under
That's
ERISA.
right. That's
so that's
exactly
kind of
right.
the two I matched.
Absolutely. That's also part of deferred comp as well. Among the effects of a country devaluing its currency is that there'll probably be which of these. I kind of like it. I think you're going to get this because you demonstrated some expertise in a previous question. So let's see if that plays out in this version of that question.
At least 90% of its taxable income and shareholders each year. This is why rates tend to have high dividend.
So if you devalue your currency, you're more than likely going to have more money coming in. So it would be
Oh, 2 out of 5. But trash.
3. So A.
Solid. Well,
excellent. I love it. I was expecting you to get that right? So, I love it. Looks like you reasoned your way through it. I call those judgment questions. Those are ones you can't really memorize as much as you got to think it through.
Yep.
Good job.
I see. I can't get these.
When attempting to determine the appropriate life insurance coverage to meet a client's goals and objective, a tool that is frequently used is
needs analysis.
Right on.
We didn't take a break when Dean and them.
Under NASA agency cross transactions, which of the following would be a prohibited practice? A prohibited practice.
We should move with Reezuhn for a bit. Yeah, let's move with Reezuhn. Play some games. Play some chess games, huh? It's the middle of the night. Let's move.
Right on. You got to get written consent, right?
Sleeping. We move with Reezuhn.
Oh, prohibited practice. Failing. Okay, just want to go back. I didn't catch the failing there first. Which of the following have equity positions in a corporation?
I can mix my
A.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
Bear with me.
I love this answer set. If we liquidate this corporation, who has priority? I'd like you to put this in the proper sequence of liquidation from either senior to junior. I'll let you give me whatever you want to do.
Play chess.
Or junior to senior in liquidation.
Move with Reezuhn on chess.
I'll accept either answer. Junior to senior or senior to junior as people who provided capital to this now defunct corporation.
So maybe it's junior 3, 4, 2, 1.
Yeah, from senior to junior it'd be 4, 3, 2, 1. Or from
see now I gotta stop that from showing. There it is. There we go. Where's the chest? Sorry, bear with me. I said bear with me, please. It's right here. Gotta redo the capture, that's what it is. Here we go. There we go. Sorry. Still got some adjustments. That's pretty good. Just for a quick throw together, Joe. It doesn't matter. Nobody tips anyway. All right, good. Let's get it. Mm-hmm. That's actually fine. Mm-mm. Mm. Dang it. Okay, this is taking a lot of time. Mm. Oh, that's kind of bothersome. Damn it. Alright, let's get it. That was annoying. Got him. What do you? Hmm. Man. That is some bull scheisse, dude. That is some bull, dude. Oh, man. Wayne, Wayne, Wayne. Finally. Thank you, thank you. I got one. Alright. Should we just take that? No, one more win and then we're at 400 again and then we'll get back to studying. Oh, yeah, that just got annoying, huh? That just got a little overwhelming for him. All right, let's call that for a second. That was nice. All right, here's your. All right, and then let's see if we could just switch back to it. That's not. Whoa, actually, that's an interesting view.
And let's get started. Part of this is I do want you to kind of share your thinking with me, so I
Okay.
can see whether it's stinking thinking or it's going to work every time for you. And so off to the races we go. If a company's dividend increases by 5%, but its market price remains the same, the current yield on the stock will
Increase.
Yeah, excellent. Right. I mean, we got, what it pays us is more. And current yield is what it pays us divided by what it costs us. So excellent.
Yep.
That's, I was just talking to somebody earlier, previous session. And I think people really overestimate all over the kind of math they're going to have to do. And I kind of get worried when they continue to want to talk about alpha and how to calculate alpha or standard deviation, when in reality, it's going to be more like current yield and working capital and some of those things.
So I failed the test twice so far. So I've seen it 2 times
What'd you
around.
score the first 2 times?
Yeah, 69 and the 70s.
Oh, God. Oh,
Literally.
man, those kind of scores are exasperating. I mean, well, good news. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean you had a lack of dedication, discipline, or organization. It could be the draw. It could be changing answers. It's unfortunately not that you don't know it, and we know this one's going to be important because if you miss it this third time, as you know, I hope,
Yeah.
at the 6 month wait, and that's just a killer, right? So we got to make sure we suck it up and we get this done, right? Among the special characteristics of a universal life insurance policy is.
So
Okay,
yeah, he was
so
loud as
it
all hell.
is not D.
Is that
Information
why I
could
can't
lead
hear
to a
myself?
surrender charge. The policy owners can borrow against cash value. It doesn't have a cash value, so it's not B. Also increase the above initial face value. It's A.
Why is his audio?
Death
Why?
benefits may increase above the initial face value.
I
You
wonder why
missed
his
that one.
audio is all
It says
messed
the
up all of a sudden.
special characteristics, right? The special characteristics is the policy may be overfunded because of that separate account. So you missed that one. Not a bad miss. You're gonna get maybe one universal life insurance policy. I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
An investment advisor is evaluating ABC stock to see if it's a good fit for the client's portfolio. Using the security market line, what is the expected return for ABC when the return on market is 20%, The 91 Treasury bill is
I can't
4%.
hear him
The
in
beta
my
is
headphones
0.70,
though.
and the inflation is 3%. Wow. Every
I think
question's
I
only
changed the
worth 1 point.
properties on here.
And one of the challenges is kind of read the question and decide, is there stuff in here that is not necessary to answering this question? So how would
So
you proceed on this one?
I'll be totally honest. I got this question earlier and I memorized, I know what the answer is.
Okay, you tell me the answer and then we'll talk about it.
15.2.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that I want you to kind of take away from the question is that the CPI has nothing to do with answering this question.
Mm-hmm.
Zero, right? The risk-free rate of return is whatever we assume it is. In this question, we would assume it's 4%.
Mm-hmm.
And 4% is what we get for not hazarding our capital, not risking our capital. So we're going to take the 4% away from the return, right? Because we could have got that without risking our capital. Beta 0.70 means 70% as volatile as the market. So that means when the market goes up,
okay, I guess I can't.
This is going to underperform the market. When the market goes down, it will outperform because it won't go down as much. So I again don't think you're going to have to do the math.
Yeah.
But the math would be the figuring out the expected return based on what the market did, and then the 91 minusing that 4%, right?
Yeah, just knowing like the factors or the formula.
Yeah, it's mainly input and output. So
yeah.
Securities are issued by which of the following would be exempt from registration under the Uniform Securities Act? So they're not asking about 33, they're asking about the Uniform Securities Act.
Okay.
Sorry, I think I need to get a smaller screen for you.
My gut says D, but I kind of think
always
it's
go with
C.
your gut.
Yeah.
Listen, always go with your gut. So I don't know if you did change your answers on your too high mismark scores. That could very well be changing answers. So there's a couple of things. You got to be confident in the execution of your study plan.
Okay.
You've got to be confident in yourself. And most importantly, on Saturday, you got to be confident in your answers. You can't be second guessing your answers. You only change an answer. You're right. You got this question right. You go with your gut. You only change an answer if you got it wrong. You go, oh my God, I got it wrong. Still don't change it. And you know what the right answer is, then change it. But very rarely you're going to be both things. I know I got it wrong, gobsmacked. Oh, how could I miss that? Then you change it. The other thing I would tell you is that, stick with what you know. So don't be, they're good at wrong answers that sound
The client purchases shares
you
of
don't know what that answer
open
means.
and mutual
Don't
fund at
take it,
2
right?
p.m.
You should only
on a
take answers
Tuesday.
where you know what you're answering.
At what price will
When,
the
as per the
transaction be
Sharpe ratio, a
executed?
stock exhibits superior performance, it implies.
I think they close at it's at close every.
It's not negative alpha, and I don't think it's beta. So I would assume it's A, a positive alpha.
I love it. I love your process. That's why we're talking about it. Perfect, right? It says superior performance, so you should immediately be thinking it can't be beta, because beta is about superior performance. Wouldn't be negative. And then Sharpe ratio, remember, not going to make you crunch it, but a higher Sharpe ratio is good. It's based on standard deviation. It just means you're getting more return
At the
per
end of
unit of
the
risk.
trading day, yeah.
I don't know how much of my videos you've watched all over, but I always joke
And
about the
no
Sharpe
load,
ratio this way.
so there's
Customer
no
gives you $1 million.
sales.
Customer gives me $1 million and says, "Hey, I'm having a beauty contest, a bake off. Whoever has the most money for me at the end of the year gets my entire portfolio." And you're foolish enough to send me your portfolio.
Public offering price.
And it ends up that it's a tie. We both have $1 million too. And I say to the client, I go, "No, it's not a tie. I win." He goes, "Well, what do you mean you win? You both have $1 million too." I say, "Yeah, but my Sharpe ratio was higher. So I got the same return, but I took
NAV
less risk.
equals.
That makes me the winner." So I would just know higher Sharpe ratio is a good thing. Positive alpha is a good
assets
thing.
minus
Excellent. I like the way you
liabilities
tacked that.
divided by shares.
XYZ looks like we're getting a heavy draw here.
No
of
kidding.
Modern portfolio theory stuff, right? I'm wishing for you on Saturday a dream draw. Everything you studied and wish for
Price?
shows
I
up.
don't know what the
But
price
every once
is.
in a while, we get one of these face of death draws where we just kind of have to deal with it the best we can.
Yeah.
Anyways, stock XYZ
For a
stock
no
has a
load
beta
fund, the public offering
of
price equals
0.92.
NAV. Oh, thank
The
goodness.
risk-free rate of return
Okay,
is 3. The
there is
market's
no
return is 8.
front
So
end
again, it's a
sales
buffet.
charge added.
I'm kind of riffing a little bit
Load
as we do this
funds
together,
charge
but I
of
immediately
sales
like to take
load
8
on top of
minus 3.
NAV
Yeah,
calculated
so
as
5 times
Yeah.
0.92.
public offering price
That's
equals
exactly right, and
NAV
that's why
divided by
I like to
1
do that. I say,
minus
okay,
sales
so I could
charge
get 3
equals,
without risking my capital.
or
So the
sales
market
charge
return was
percentage.
actually 5%,
Okay,
right? And the beta is
but with
0.92.
no
So
load, POP
here it
equals
tells me the
NAV
risk-free is 3,
equals.
so we take the 3 away from the point, the
Note
8.
that the no load funds
right?
can
We get
still have 12B1 fees up
And so we
to
get 5 there, and then
point,
we would multiply it, if
but
I'm not
those are
wrong, by the
embedded in the
0.92.
expense
That's
ratio,
right.
not added to the
Okay.
purchase price. Which of the following best describes a
It says 4.6
charge when
Yeah,
an
and then
investor
remember
redeems
though,
shares
so
before
4.6
minimum
plus the
period,
risk-free rate of
an
return.
annual fee
that's 3%,
charged
right?
by
So,
Yep.
the fund to
Okay,
cover
got it.
marketing.
yeah. And again, it's a buffet. Math is one of the challenges about math. People think it's pretty cut and dry. It's not. A lot of ways
A
to do math.
one-time
And what just makes sense for me whenever I get this risk-free return is I just immediately take it away from the market return, and I also take it away from, if they give me 2 numbers, the second number in the question. Now, sometimes we don't have to deal with it, but if we do, then that's the way I like to proceed.
Yep.
Under the Uniform Securities Act, all the following would cause an agent's registration to be canceled
Some type of sales.
by the administrator, except.
So it's B and D would definitely be a reason to.
These are annual fees expressed as a percentage of the fund assets used to cover funds marketing, advertising, and distribution costs. Yes.
Canceled.
An investor redeems shares from a mutual fund and receives less than the original NAV paid. Which of the following fees is most likely responsible?
A is kind of what I'm thinking.
Good job. I have a lot of people that take exception with this question.
Redeems
And boy, I
shares
just,
from a
at
mutual
least,
fund and receives less than the
I get it.
original
Your language is not
NAV
English, if it's
paid.
Mandarin and, or Spanish or something. And, I'm trying to explain to them there's a difference between the word punitive, being punished, and just
Mutual fund.
canceled. So A would be punitive. It would be something you did wrong, not cancel. Cancel means,
heavily
I cancel my subscription. That doesn't mean anything other than I just cancel.
a contingent deferred sales charge,
A corporate bond
CDSC,
with a 6%
is called
coupon
a
is
back-end
purchased for your
load,
customer's
is
portfolio.
charged at
If current
redemption to
bonds
pay
of the same
on a
quality
sliding
maturity
scale
yields
that
7.25,
decreases the longer the
and the
investor
net
holds
present
the
value of
fund.
the bond is
Class
0,
B shares commonly
the
used
bond's
to structure
internal
this
rate
as
of
the investor
return
redeems
is. I kind of
early.
like this one.
The
It's kind of tough,
CDSC reduces the
but it's
amount
I think
received
legit, and I think it's worth
what
discussing a little bit.
7.25.
Which of the following is
Yeah,
true
and that's a
about
sign of
a
an
unit
efficient market
investment
as well,
trust?
right?
Yep.
And the return rate of return, I always joke when, I was a practitioner, I'd say, Oliver, if you invest $1 million in this private equity fund and we get an internal return of
fixed portfolio,
that would turn the $1 million
securities and
into
typically have a
$5
set
million.
termination. I think it's a fixed.
So the internal rate of return is what takes present value to future value.
It's a fixed unmanaged
And a bond,
portfolio of
that's gonna be the
securities
yield
and
to
typically
maturity.
has a set
And here it specifically says it's
termination
not.
date.
There's no net present value. It says it's 0. So the present value and future value are the same.
I didn't feel confident.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh,
So I wrote down the future value present
let's go.
value
Okay.
formula, and
Perfect.
I have the
Not,
IRR
well, not
with
literally,
the R,
but
like
okay.
underneath the R, and then I have under my yield
Cool.
to maturity because I do the teeter totter as well.
That was
I
a lot
put
better.
IRR next to it. Is that the right thing to do?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I'm always trying to come up with a better way to explain it to
options,
non
derivatives.
math people or non
Cool.
PhDs in modern portfolio theory. And the one I've been kind of working on.
Sometimes you just
is
gotta be
the
confident
idea
and surprise
of
yourself.
present value and future value as it
That's what Dean
relates
was
to a
saying
customer
earlier
who
today
has
too.
20 years to retirement. He's 50 years old. He says, Dean, I got $100 grand.
One
I
of
want to
the
retire at age 70.
one of
and
his
I
subscribers
have 400 grand.
super
So the
chatted
fancy
a
word
question
is
that was
we
like,
have present value
you
of
know, I'm
100
taking it this
and we have
Friday
a
or
future
something like.
value of 400.
Mm-hmm.
And the internal rate of return is what we'll take
What
the
did he
100 to
say?
the 400, or
I don't know,
400
but
back
like
to 100
nonetheless,
if we're going
Dean
to get a
said
vote
like
from future value to present value.
confidence is like
In that
10 points if you
example,
ask me. Like
if
confidence
we do the
earns like
rule of
10 points.
72, I
Like
say,
the whole
okay,
psyche
well,
about it
if it's a
is,
20-year time
you know, you
horizon
go in there with confidence,
and
you'll
I can
just be
get
able to
to
like make
200 over 10,
the proper like
Mm-hmm.
right, that would be double the money and then double again,
decision
I'd be at
sometimes
Again.
400.
versus.
Yep.
I am
So I
really
could take
butchering
72
what
and
he said,
divide
but
by
it's
10
late.
years and come up with 7.2%.
Technically early. I don't know.
That 7.2% is the internal rate of return. Then what I say
But
is,
then
okay, let's say we
stop
didn't have the
second
400.
guessing
Nobody's going to
yourself,
make you
or
come
else
up
you're
with the
gonna
400, but
overthink
your
things
formula,
and
right?
stuff like that.
To
Yeah.
come up with the 400, if it was missing, I need
That's
present
why we
value
study
100.
for hours
I need the
upon
internal
hours,
rate of
and then the
return,
other
which we just
confidence
did with
is kind of
7.2. I need the number of compounding periods, 20 years. Or if I
just
want to go for
memory
future
overall.
value, the 400, I
Okay,
don't have the
options,
100.
features,
I
and
can make you
swaps.
come up with 100, but again, the inputs,
Call
right?
option,
I
right
got
to
my future
call
value of
option is the
400.
right to buy
I got
at
my
a
internal
certain
rate of
price. Yeah,
return,
strike price.
7.2,
Buyer
and
profits
then
if
I've
the
got the number
price
of years of
rises.
compounding period. So those are the inputs to
Plus
that.
premium,
And so
seller,
that was excellent. I like
provider
what you did.
profits if the
I
price
had a guy
stays
who
and
was a very
buyer
similar
falls.
scenario. He said, Dean, I'm not paying you $225 an hour to tutor me on
We like
math
to
on NASDAQ.
sell
I'm a serious
call
math geek.
options.
I can do all the math.
Very
So,
nice.
let's just cut to the chase. I said, fine.
And then put
I'm making him
options
sound like
right
he
to
has hubris.
sell
He
at a
does. I mean, he really
certain
is
price of
a
stock,
math guy.
strike price.
Yeah.
And then, he
Buyer's
passed, but he
profit if
called. He
the
said, man,
price
damn.
falls below
Dean, I
strike
should have made
price.
some
Premium
flashcards on input and output. I mean, I was able to
minus
reverse
premium
engineer the formula, but
used
they
as
didn't really ask me to do the math. They asked me to
portfolio
recognize it, and I was
insurance.
struggling a little bit because
Okay.
I
Put
didn't really
options
kind of look
are
at the
used
formulas and have
as
like you just told me
portfolio
you've got.
insurance.
He had to kind
Buyer
of do it on the
profits.
fly, which he was
Price
capable of.
falls
But
below
it's
strike.
better to not have to
Yeah,
be doing.
that would take a long time. That would take a
Yeah,
long
Open
time to
I
be able
mean,
to reverse that.
projected put
yeah. You just and
equals
you
you
shouldn't
owns the stock
have
plus
the time
buy
constraint
put.
on the test. I always tell people you have
So
a
you
time
pay
constraint. It's bad
premium
because that means you're turning aim
for
and
the
shoot point
option
and
to
click
buy
questions into judgment questions that aren't there. All the following statements related to an
floor
account registered as
floor
tenants in
on
common
losses.
is true except.
You buy the put to floor on losses.
Okay, so B is
Covered
correct.
call
On death of one of the
equals
quote
own
means
the
that
stock
individual
plus
share of
you
the
sell
account
call.
passes to
Yeah,
the
we like those.
survivors.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, we own the stock and then we sell
No. This
a
form
call
of
option. Yeah,
registration is less
income
common for married couples,
but
and
capped
yeah, that's
upside,
true.
not
Each
driven.
co-tenant has an undivided interest in the entire account. That's true. So it's C.
Conservative, yeah, it's
Excellent, excellent. That would be true of joint tenants with rights or
futures
survivorship, right?
contracts.
Yep.
So you're definitely going to get those kind of
Obligation,
questions. So those
not right,
are layups as
not
65
right.
goes.
Yeah.
An investment advisor's rep, I always think me.
Oh, obligation, yeah. It's
If I can put
different.
myself and my firm into the question, I'm going to do so. So, Dean's business card contains which of the following designations would be in violation of NASA's policy on advertising. This is very testable.
Yeah, it's D.
Swaps
You're
over.
right on. Yeah, that's misuse of a non-existent professional designation, right?
No kidding. Yeah. CFP, CLU.
It's
I
hard to
forget
believe
what
how many times
OTC
I see
means.
people. I never know sometimes when I see people who are doing this, are they
I
malicious
forget
or
what
ignorant?
OTC means.
It doesn't really matter in terms of test purposes, but I mean, I'm like, okay, do you know that's not really, acceptable? Which of
Agreements
the
to
following
exchange
items
cash
is
flow,
not
interest
necessary
rates,
to establish
swaps, fixed or
before helping a
floating.
client open an account?
Mm,
Exempt to max gains, losses questions are very common. For a long call, max
So
equals
A and C are
unlimited,
correct.
max
That's correct.
loss equals
I'm
What is
kinda-
C called? Do you know what C is called?
That's
for a
called,
covered call,
God,
max gain equals strike
needs
minus
analysis?
purchase price
Excellent,
plus premium.
excellent. Now, usually when you're doing well, so I'll just tell you, this is how I play this game on Shares
Strike
Grand Files. If you're
minus
doing well,
purchase price
and I don't think it's going to damage your
plus
psyche,
premium.
I say, okay, let's go a little deeper, see what else you know, right? If you're not doing well, then I just leave it alone and you just can click buttons. But good job. So that's indeed what that is called. You said A and C,
No, I
so now you
wasn't
got to
wrong.
deal with B and D as your remaining choices here.
I guess
I don't think that you technically have to have zero
230.
balances in your credit
Yeah, we never get
cards.
started, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to help you on that. Hopefully, as your investment person, right? I'm
They
certainly
didn't
very
ask a lot of
testable.
Yeah.
questions like this.
Emergency
This
fund,
was
right? I
just
say,
within
Oliver, most
customizing
people would
our
recommend at
study
least 3 to
session.
6 months
But
in
once we
cash
get
as an
more
emergency
VC
fund in
fraud and
case you
all
lose
that,
your
we'll be able
job
to
or unforeseen
have her
things
pump out like
happen. And again,
eventually like
that's
full
liquidity, and that
blown
has an
130
opportunity cost
pressure
because
ones
it's
and
going to
just
be
we'll just
money that's
rattle
not
those off.
invested. And the older I get, the
Then
more
we'll figure it out.
how
Pop
larger I
out
want
enough.
that fund to be, which is kind of stupid, but it is what it is, right?
When I always think that like you need to have a net profit no matter what, so you don't want to have a ton of debt. But if you have an
I
you need
really
an
do
emergency fund.
fuck
Like if you didn't
with
have an emergency fund, it
That's
would
fine.
almost seem like you don't have extra money.
an investor
Yeah,
buys on
I
call
like to keep a
option
year's worth of
on
expenses in cash
XYZ
because
stock
Yeah.
it just makes
strike
me feel better.
price of 50
It's stupid,
and
but
pays
right,
a
I just
No, I
premium
mean
of
I get it. I get
$3.
it.
What is
Honestly,
the investor's
as
maximum
written in the
possible
Investment
loss?
Advisor Act of 1940,
Um,
a person associated with an investment advisor is any partner, officer, or director
that's the
of such investment advisor or any person
strike
performing
price
similar
minus.
functions, or any person directly or indirectly
Wow.
controlling or controlled by such investment advisor,
I
including
think
any
they give
employee of
me
such
a
investment
hint on
advisor.
the first one.
Persons associated
The
with investment
maximum
advisor whose
pressure
functions are
area.
clerical and ministerial are not included in the
Strike
definition.
minus purchase
Based on that
price.
definition, all the following are
Jesus
associated persons
Christ.
exempt. I like the question like that. They just give you a lot of free information. You're like, oh my God. They,
Yeah.
told me all kinds of stuff.
So A definitely is and play with the dude.
What is the loss? Oh, okay.
The senior officer. He's an officer, so D is also correct.
Yep.
Partner in the advisory firm organized. I think C, so I'm gonna guess it's B.
Yeah, good job. You're
buyer.
correct because graphic design is not public contact regarding investments. I'm not soliciting anybody.
Yep.
I'm just jazzing our stuff up,
So it's
making
just
it
the
look pretty.
premium paid.
Yeah, it was the research part.
The buyer of a
threw me off
call
a little bit.
option can only
Yeah,
use
you
the
got it.
premium paid. Got it.
GEM contracts with XYC
In this
Advisory Service for the design of a
$3
financial plan
per
and
share
investment
or
advice.
300 per
He pays an
contract for
upfront
100
fee
shares.
when the contract is
If the
signed
stock
and
is
receives the
below
disclosure
50
brochure at that time. After
expiration,
3
the
days,
option
Jim decides to
expires with
cancel
which
the investment advisory contract according to the Uniform
an
Securities Act.
investor owns 500
Which of the
shares
following
of
statements is
TVC
true?
stock currently trading at 60. She buys she buys 5 put options on ABC with a strike price at 55 and a premium of $2. What is the primary purpose of the strategy? To generate income from the premium received,
D and
to
C.
profit, to protect against the decline while maintaining the upside potential, to reduce the cost basis of the stock position. So we're buying puts. So put options, but what's the strategy?
I'm gonna go B.
Yeah, I like this
It's
one. This is called the 48-hour rule, right?
Yep.
The 48-hour rule is this idea that I haven't given you time to look it over. And then remember, that means you have 5 days to kind of rescind that thing. Now, I don't know, Oliver, how you feel about this, and I'll just tell you again, every tutor is a little different. I do believe in test-taking tricks.
Mm-hmm.
We only use test-taking tricks when all else fails. And Chuck Lowenstein at Kaplan is the guy who wrote this question. And even my friend Brian Lee, they get mad at me. But they fall prey to the trick I'm about to share with you. Too long to be wrong.
Yep. Actually, that's what I was thinking when I was answering this question.
Yeah,
I was looking between the two.
The reason it kind of works is because guys like, as much as they hate
the covered call calculation question 3,
what test writers do sometimes, and me included, we start with what our right answer and wrong answer is going to be the answer set, basically, and then we reverse engineer the question. And so either B is a hell of a distractor.
Mm-hmm.
That's the technical name for wrong answer, or it's the right answer because
an
my friend
investor
Chuck is pretty
owns
involved in
500
that B
shares.
choice
He
there.
could just let it go up or
There.
down.
Now remember, I didn't say that you shouldn't learn the information.
At 60
I didn't say you go with too long to be wrong. I said if you need to use a test-taking trick, you did one the other on a previous question. I thought you did well. You did what I call the Sesame Street trick. One of these things is not like the other.
Premium.
You did, that was that one with the clerical person. You did another one I like. Good test takers, they may not have formal names for the tricks.
What
You
is the
did another
primary
great one on
purpose
the
of
previous question. You did
buying?
what I call process of elimination.
You could sell
Yep.
them
Where
or
you say, okay, I know it's not A, I
why
know
would
it's
you
not
want to
C.
sell them?
And so these are just, kind of giving formal names to test taking tricks. Good test takers intuitively know tricks. We're not saying you're going to pass your third time using tricks. We're just saying when all else fails, you got to do something.
Because you want to get rid
Yeah.
of them to generate
All the
income
following are
from
features of limited partnership,
to profit
direct
of
participation
falls below it.
programs,
Oh,
except.
yeah. Okay, sorry, I overthought that for a minute. This is a protective put strategy.
That's
Owning
true.
stocks
Seems
and
true.
buying puts on the same stock to put at like insurance if those roles at the put gain value offsetting losses on the stock. The investor still participates
I
in
think
an upside above 60.
I think it's
And
A.
the investor owns
Excellent.
100
Good job.
shares of EF stock purchased at 45. Purchased at
Which of the
$45.
following
He
are
sells
prohibited
one call option.
practices? Which of the following are prohibited
Sells
practices?
one call option with a strike price of 50.
Let me roll that up for you a little bit.
Mm-hmm. What is the maximum gain? Strike price
2.
Minus plus premium 50. Probably like 8.
I don't think it's 3. So, um,
For a covered call, maximum gain, strike price minus purchase price plus
that's
premium
good.
received.
Can you go back to the top of the question to make sure I'm answering it correctly?
Yeah. Oh, my bad. Okay, sorry about that. Which of the following are prohibited practices?
Yeah, it's A, I think.
Yeah, I like that. So, what you want to do is maybe you can also just read each of these Roman numerals standalone and either write prohibited next to it or not prohibited. I like what you did. I think you kind of did that when you put these. I think you said 3's not prohibited, and then use that as a pivot, which I thought was a good idea, right? You took 3 out and said, okay, if 3's out, then let me pivot to what's left.
Well, I know 2 was correct, so it was between 2 and 3. I just wanted to make sure 4 wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
So I knew it had to be, if it wasn't 3, it had to be 1 and 2.
There you go. Love it. Good test taking skills. One of your clients has a tendency to follow the actions of a larger group of people when making financial decisions. Whether those actions are rational or not, the client's behavior is an example of
herd mentality.
right on. Those are part of human psychosis, non-financial kind of considerations, right?
I'm tired.
Yep.
That is testable. Which of the following is correct regarding
we'll get back to it
zero
in a couple hours.
coupon bonds?
We'll start doing it early in the morning. And then just calling as long as we can, and then picking it up later, and then going to bed.
A is definitely not.
But yeah, we got 2 weeks to get this. We're gonna make it happen. All right.